The Indians finish off a 3-game sweep of the Royals with the long ball. Now the Tribe welcomes the Detroit Tigers to town, riding a 10-game home winning streak and a 4.5-game lead in the AL Central. Genmar Gomez was sensational in his big league debut against Detroit last year, and he'll try to push the Indians' win streak at home to 11 next on Sports Time Ohio. From Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, it's Indians baseball tonight. The Tribe, owners of the best record in the American League, play host to their rivals from Detroit as the Tigers invade Progressive Field for the first time this year. Hi again, everyone. I'm Matt Underwood alongside my normal partner, Rick Manning, and we're so happy to be joined this year for 10 games tonight and tomorrow night on this homestand by former Tribe skipper Mike Hargrove. Mike, the Indians are off to a great start. We all know that. They've won 16 games already here in the month of April. Fourth time they've done that in franchise history. Twice before, Indians teams did that, were managed by you. I know you can't win a division in the month of April, but what does this great start do for Manny Acta and his club?
Well, it obviously gives a lot of confidence to his players in their ability to go out every night and win. But the biggest thing that I think that it does, it gives them a cushion for when things do get a little dicey. You know, it's going to happen. And having this great April that they've had gives them a little bit of a cushion to fall back on and still not bury themselves and be ready to go.
Well, they have swung the bats extremely well, probably better than anyone expected, averaging better than 6 runs a game and 22 home runs belted already here at home so far this year. Rick, when you look at tonight's pitching matchup for Detroit, you've got a guy trying to do something no Tigers pitcher has done in over 20 years. And for the Indians, Genmar Gomez just trying to pitch his way and stay in this starting rotation. The matchup brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200.
Well, Max Scherzer is trying to go to 5-0. They played very well, 2-0 against the Central. He is 1-3 in his career against the Indians. But he will be matched up against Genmar Gomez, making his second start this year. He struggled in his first start against Kansas City, but if you remember, you go back to last year in July, his very first Major League start came against the Tigers. He gave up a couple of unearned runs, but he did get his first Major League victory. A little help from Carmona right there. We're going to see if he can go right back out and continue this streak at home.
And, of course, Max Scherzer is trying to become the first Tigers pitcher to win 5 games in the month of April since Frank Tanana back in 1988. We're back with all of tonight's play-by-play action coming up next.
Central Division. Detroit was just swept at home. Let's take a look at the Home Depot doing more on defense. Indians defensive lineup. That'll be Bradley offside for center to right. Hanahan third at 3 foot short. Randall is second. Corners at first. Santana behind the bench. For doing that's the power.
Hanahan will cut in front. His only play is at first. Ordonez is out number 2. Will Rhymes moves into scoring position. Maglio Ordonez, a 6-time All-Star, has done it for so long. And, of course, the longer you struggle at this stage in your career, the more the whispers start to grow about, is he done? Is there no more magic left?
Well, you're right. You are right about that. You know, we had Eddie Murray when we traded him, and we really gave him a half season up the All-Star break at bats to get it going. He didn't, and we went ahead and made the move because we had younger people that had a chance.
Here's Miguel Cabrera. Nothing wrong with the start to his season. Batting .318, 5 homers, 16 runs batted in. So he has been, along with Brennan Bosch, the key guy in the middle of this lineup for Detroit.
This guy could fall out of bed and hit. I mean, he's without a doubt one of the best hitters in the game.
He's scary, isn't he?
Yes, he is. I mean, because he makes adjustments. He can pull the ball. He'll take it inside. You cannot stay with any one pattern to consistently get him out.
he's not a bad ball hitter like Vladimir Guerrero, but it reminds me of him in that he's tough to pitch to, because if you pitch him inside, he'll still find a way to hit it. If you pitch him away, he'll still find a way to get the barrel on it.
He's so strong that he can take those pitches like that and really make a difference with them. You know, where a guy like us,
normal guys,
we can get it in our hands, they're really in there. So it's a guy that kind of strength, it really makes a difference.
1-1 the count for Cabrera. First base open, 2 down here in the first. Brennan Bosch, left-handed hitter, would be next. 10 pitches thus far for Gomez, 6 for strikes. And a good pitch in there to get ahead in the count, 1-2. Cabrera's not real crazy about it.
No, he thought that breaking ball was high. He looked back and said, oh, my God, that's high.
But don't you love it when umpires delay their calls?
Well, and rarely do you see umpires nowadays call pitches up in the zone. That's why I think the hitter is more in shock than anything, is when they do call a high strike. Anything, as really, a ball with above the belt is always a ball. They used to call it all the time.
Yeah.
Gomez ready with a 1-2 now, with Rhymes the runner at second base, and it's a little bit wide of the mark to even the count. First meeting of the year between the Indians and the Tigers. The Indians 10-2 at home this year. 10 straight victories after losing the first 2 to start the year to the White Sox. 2-2. Hammered deep left field and way out of here. Deep onto the home run porch. And Miguel Cabrera takes that 2-2 pitch and gives the Detroit Tigers a 2-0 lead. And that's only the 4th time this year that the Indians have given up a run in the first inning. And they give up a pair here in inning number 1.
He left them an off-speed pitch, and his secondary pitch up and on the inner part of the plate. Cabrera, he knew what to do with it. Not sure if it was a slider. It might have been a changeup. Let's take a look at it. They're sitting away, and that looked like a changeup to me. Middle of the plate, and it just speeds up his bat. Especially when you have first base open. You can't, if you've got to go inside, you better go hard and inside, not make a mistake with an off-speed pitch to him.
Brennan Bosch smashes one to first. Laporta has trouble with it, and Bosch is going to be safe at first. So the error keeps the inning alive for Detroit. Not sure if that caught him on the heel of the glove. Take another look.
That's a play right there. It's just routine.
Caught him on his heels, that's for sure. But
we certainly didn't work on that in spring training.
I was going to say, did you teach him that? I didn't think so.
Now Ryan Rayburn takes a strike. Rayburn, 238 average coming into play tonight.
So one thing the Indians have done so well this year is play infield defense and defense overall. That's only their 12th error. They were ranked 3rd coming in.
Breaking ball got away from him.
A lot of times you see young pitchers, get into a jam like this. That they give up the big home run early in the ball game after getting 2 outs, and all of a sudden they start trying to throw harder and be more perfect. And just the opposite should be done. You got to relax, stay back, stay balanced, and keep the ball down. That's the biggest thing. Just keep the ball down.
He has had problems. I mean, this in his first start with Minnesota, I noticed that he struggled a little more coming out of the stretch compared to the full windup. Now, whether he had his rhythm or what.
A lot of times that's because they don't ever get back over their back foot and balance themselves. I don't want to get too technical, but you've got to let everything get in sync and catch up. And if they jump out too soon and leave the rubber too soon, then their arm's going to drag and the ball's going to be up in the zone. At least that's what they tell me.
Here's Janmar Gomez now with a 1-2 pitch to Rayburn. Runner goes. Santana's throw is in time, and for the first time this year, the Indians gun down a would-be base stealer. Bosch is retired, inning over, but the Tigers jump on top with a 2-0 lead. From the bat here in the bottom of the first inning. Let's look at the Tribe starting lineup, brought to you by Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Grady Sizemore red hot leading it off. Then it's Asdrubal Cabrera followed by Shin-Soo Choo. Carlos Santana, Shelley Duncan, Orlando Cabrera in the middle. Then it's Michael Brantley, Matt Laporta, and the surging Jack Hanahan.
Max Scherzer is making his 6th start this year. Off to a very good start. 4-0 in his 5 starts, and even his no decision, the Detroit Tigers ended up winning a 3.19 ERA. Part of that was he gave up 6 runs in his first start to the Yankees, but he has never given up more than 2 in any start after that. So he has been very good, 1-3 in his career against the Tribe. Per game last year.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Grady here in inning number 1. Leading it off for the Tribe and scoring early. That's something the Indians have done a lot of this year. Find themselves in an early 2-0 hole.
Yeah, that's a rarity.
The 2-2 pitch. And Sizemore strikes out. 1 away.
Let's set the Tigers defense for you today. Behind Scherzer, it's Rayburn in left. Jackson is in center. Bosch is in right. Inge at third. Peralta at short. Rhymes at second. Cabrera is at first with Avila behind the plate.
Asdrubal Cabrera hitting .260 on the year. 4 homers, 15 driven in. Cabrera, Choo, and Orlando Cabrera all have 15 runs batted in the starting lineup tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You talk about this rarity being down 2-0. The only time in this 10-game home winning streak that the Indians have trailed, it was back against Boston, if you remember, 1-0, and that was back in the 3rd inning. It's the only time they've trailed in this 10-game home winning streak, so they have always played from in front.
The offense has been able to strike early, and the pitching for the Indians has just been sensational. As Cabrera takes a strike, and the count evens at 2-2. Shin-Soo Choo waits on deck, and the 2-2 from Scherzer in off the plate. And the count is full. Comes back in with a fastball, and Cabrera bangs it foul.
Well, that's what you want. You want your left-handers to get after Scherzer because their lefties hitting .352 against him this year, and they've hit all 5 home runs that he has given up. He's been awfully tough on righties. $160. The right-handers saying, come on, you lefties. Get him out of there.
The 3-2. High, ball 4. Just the 14th walk issued by Scherzer this year. And a 1-out base runner now for Shin-Soo Choo, who, Rick, it looked like in that Kansas City series, he's showing some serious signs that he's out of his slump.
Yeah, he really is because he's using the whole field. He hit a ball, a home run to left field. He's played pepper with the left field wall. Went a homer to straightaway center and then in right center field. And he's swinging it well right now. Or he did in the last series.
Max Scherzer working out of the stretch now. And Choo shoots it right back to the screen.
Certainly not afraid to swing the bat.
No, he likes it.
Yeah. You know, he got a little pull happy, I think, early in the year. He was swinging a lot of high fastballs. Normally, he's a good low ball hitter, and but he's locked back in now.
They set up a wave for Chu on the 0-1 pitch, and it's off the plate to even the count.
You see a lot of young hitters do that. Like a lot of young hitters, they want to hit the ball hard, and they know to hit the ball hard, as hard as they can hit it, they want to pull the ball. So they're jumping out front, and they're way out front on the breaking balls. They get in on the fastball, and we see a little bit out of Santana right now.
Right. I agree with you. But Chu, I mean, he is. You want to try and get him out with fastballs up once you get to 2 strikes.
With Cabrera at first, the 1-1 to Chu is off the mark. 2 balls and a strike. Mike, this is something Rick and I have talked about for a number of years, and that is the first inning for a lot of starting pitchers is sometimes a real struggle for them. And if you see a guy who's struggling to find it in that first inning, boy, it's almost like if you don't get him then, you could be in for a long night.
Well, and that really holds true, especially for the really good pitchers. You know, back when we played in the dark ages, you guys like Seaver and Gaylord and people like that. You know, it took them a while to find their traction, and if you didn't get them early, it wasn't going to happen. And it holds true. You watch the game no matter where it's played and how long it's played and when it's played. It's the same thing. You know, you're going to get certain opportunities during a ball game to get to the pitcher, and you need to take advantage of those. If you don't, it slips away from you.
3-1 the count here for Chu, with 1 on 1 out in the bottom of the first. And that's fisted foul the other way. The count goes full.
You give any foul balls up here?
No.
Occasionally.
Good.
Very rare, though.
Not too often. Usually the right-handers will get it over into the booth for Hammy and Hegan over there. They'll get an occasional one.
Well, if we get one, I'm ducking your way and not Matt's way.
I'll take it.
You've seen my act before, huh?
Yeah, I've seen Rick's act before.
Here's the set by Scherzer. Cabrera bluffed a move, and it's ball 4. So the Indians with back-to-back walks have something brewing here in the bottom half of inning number 1. Let's take a look at our great clip of the game from yesterday. Carlos Santana with a long home run deep into the lower deck in right field for Santana, his 3rd home run on the year. Relax, you're at Great Clips. And Santana bats here with 2 on and 1 out in inning number 1. Well, let's see what Santana's approach is after Scherzer has walked the previous 2 hitters. We know Carlos is an aggressive swinger, but also has a tremendous eye. Takes the first pitch, strike. Pitch number 20 here in the first inning for Scherzer. He's thrown more balls than strikes thus far. And a double play ball to short. Peralta to Rhymes on to Cabrera, and the inning is over. After 1, it's Detroit 2, Cleveland nothing.
delicious frappe or real fruit smoothie from McDonald's. By your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. And by AT&T.
It's a 2-0 Tigers advantage as we go to the second inning. Apparently it's her birthday. It's one way of getting the message across. Bring props.
Just glad they could spell.
It's not my birthday.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Inning number 2, Ryan Rayburn, Johnny Peralta, Alex Avila due up for Detroit. Rayburn looks at a ball in the dirt. And he was at the plate when Brendan Bosch was thrown out trying to steal to end inning number 1. Slug foul deep down the left side. And the count is 1-1. Talking with Indians pitching coach Tim Belcher before the game, he said the one real key for him with regards to Genmar Gomez is he wanted to see Gomez pitch ahead, get ahead of the hitters, because he doesn't have the kind of blazing fastball that allows him to pitch from behind.
Well, another thing is he has to rely on his fastball when he does pitch from behind, because he's not going to throw his breaking ball. You know, his secondary pitches need work, as many young pitchers do. You know, so they go to their best pitch when they get into a situation where they got to go to, so it's going to be his fastball.
And the 2-1. Pop back out of play.
You know, you pitch from in front, like many of the pitchers have done this year. That's when you get a chance to expand the strike zone from a lot of these hitters. You know, there's not a big track record with Genmar here.
Well, the most important pitch you have to command is your fastball. If you can command your fastball, you got a chance, because then you don't have to rely on your secondary pitches so much.
That's crushed deep to right field. Chu's running out of room. Hits off the wall. He makes a great play and holds Rayburn to one of the longest singles you'll ever see.
I tell you what, you can't play a ball any better than he played it off the wall. He knew. He got back to a point where he says, okay, it's going to be over my head. Let me turn and play it off the wall. And I'll be darned if it doesn't one hop right into his glove. And please run, he's asking. Please run, because you're going to be out at second base. Look at that. That is played as well as you can play it.
I think the Tigers watched some video of the series between the Indians and Minnesota, too.
He's in our division. They know.
With a high fly ball, routine in right field. Chu is there. And that's out number 1 as Johnny will make the right turn and head to the Tigers dugout. Let's check in with Katie Witham for the first time tonight. She has more on Indians starting pitcher Genmar Gomez.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. You know what, Rick, you mentioned earlier that he came into the ballgame last Sunday from the bullpen for Carlos Carrasco, not something he's used to doing. I asked him, did it mess up your rhythm at all? And he said, actually, no. You know, I would have thought it would, but it really didn't. And it's because of the energy that all the pitchers have right now. They're feeding off one another's success tonight. What he wants to see from himself, working that strike zone, keeping the ball low, but most importantly, he wants to go as deep as guys like Masterson and Tomlin have been able to do.
All right, thanks, Katie. He's got Alex Avila at the plate here and looks at a ball outside.
Well, you set the standard, you know, when you get the guys. The starting pitchers have gone at least 6 innings in most of the games this year. But if you're a manager, you give me my 7. If you can get 7 and get out of there and not give up 2 runs, or 2 or less, you're.
Oh, that's right.
That's all you can ask for.
That's exactly right. And think of the wear and tear it saves on your bullpen. You get August, September, when the dog days.
Right.
When a lot of bullpens that have been used a lot during the season are running out of gas, and your guys are still fresh. That really gives you a big advantage. So your starting pitchers going deep in the game is a huge factor.
That was really one of the keys to the success of the 07 Indians. The starting pitchers were able to go deep consistently, and the bullpen stayed fresh throughout the season. Now the 1-1 pitch. Down low, 2 balls and a strike. Alex Avila comes in batting .299. 3 homers, 16 runs batted in. Tigers hope to get Victor Martinez back from the disabled list by next week. Now the 2-1 pitch. That is drilled. Deep right center field. Chu on the track at the wall. Can't get it. Nicely played by Sizemore, and that'll keep the runner from scoring as Rayburn stops at third. But Detroit really teeing off here early on Genmar Gomez, second and third with one out now here in the second inning.
Well, when you watch the locations, you're gonna realize why these guys are hitting balls in the air. Right there, middle of the plate. He goes with that fastball. It was a two-seam fastball. Behind in the count, 2-1, and that's the pitch he's got to go to. That fastball there, Chu couldn't get back in time, but backed up nicely by Grady. They don't score, so it's second and third with one out, and an opportunity to add to that 2-0 lead.
Yeah, Indians have the infield back here, so Ringe can get a run home with even a ground ball here. And takes a first pitch strike. Brandon Inge hitting just .224 coming in. Now the 0-1 from Genmar Gomez is grounded to third. Hanahan has a chance. He comes home with a throw. And they've got Rayburn chasing him back to third. Hanahan applies the tag, and the runners are at first and second base. Well played by the Indians. Mike, I don't think you can play that much better than the way Hanahan and Santana got him held up.
You know, they did the same thing last night against Kansas City, but they had the infield in. You know, it's a very instinctual play. You're playing the infield back. You think that, okay, we're going to let you have the run. We'll take the out at first base. Jack did a great job of catching the ball and looking, seeing the runner didn't have a good jump, and got him out at the plate. It's plays like that can really change the momentum in a ball game, and we'll see if it happens.
You know, that's a play there where if you're going on contact, okay, but in the middle of the field you get the RBI, but first and third they'll come home if it's hit hard enough to go home first.
Austin Jackson leans back from a pitch. Gomez with a great chance now to get out of this inning unscathed, and boy, would that be a big pick-me-up. Jackson lined out sharply to right field his first time up. And he fists one into left. Coming hard, Brantley. And there will be no play at the plate as Avila stopped quickly. And the bases are now loaded for Detroit with two down here in the second inning. And Will Rhymes coming to the plate.
You know, that ball gets in on him. He pulls the hands in nicely. He got it off the trademark, but with two outs, and you've got Avila, the catcher, running, you got to be careful. You don't want to get him. And you can see where Michael Brantley is at. He's very shallow in left field.
Well, Will Rhymes had a base hit his first time up, and he came around to score on the two-run homer by Miguel Cabrera in inning number 1.
He got after the first pitch in that at-bat.
And he chases the first pitch here, banging it foul over by that Tiger dugout.
Well, two things as a pitcher you want to do. You want to get the ball down. You want to keep it off out of the middle of the plate. So far, Genmar, when he gets it down, it's in the middle of the plate, and when he gets it off the plate, it's just he needs to get that together, and he's got good stuff. He's got good movement on his ball, but the spots he's pitching to right now are not good for us.
The 0-1 is fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes. Could be a huge shift in momentum one way or the other. Gomez could give his club a huge lift if he can find a way out of this mess. Bases loaded, 2 down in the second. Tigers already up 2-0. And Will Rhymes down on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. A little bit wide of the mark.
You know what happens a lot of times, you get in a jam like this, you got a young pitcher on the mound, and you know, runners on second and third and 1 out, and you get that play at the plate where you keep the runner from scoring, and you almost relax mentally, think, oh geez, that was great.
Yeah, it's not the third out.
Right, exactly. You still got an out to get. You got to stay up.
Swung out and missed. He got him. Gomez gets out of trouble. Tigers leave him loaded, but Detroit still has a 2-0 lead. Field and aerial coverage tonight provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours.
Great shot, isn't it?
Boy, beautiful.
Still a
Yes,
beautiful
it is.
ballpark,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it sure is. It's nice, though, back in the days when the playoffs were here, it was packed and everything was going.
People hanging off the roof. Yeah.
Well, you can see the two talking right there, and Gomez has got to get it together because he is struggling in the first 2 innings.
Shelley Duncan leads off home half of the second, DHing for the second straight night. Can't say enough about the job Duncan has done, whether it's coming in for a pinch hit appearance late in the ball game or getting the occasional spot start. Swing and a miss, it's 0-2.
Well, Scherzer has been tough on right-handers this year, and that slider, the one he just threw right there, that's the one. That's his strikeout pitch.
Now the 0-2. Same pitch. That was a little bit down, and Duncan able to lay off. Five of his 8 hits this year have gone for extra bases for Shelley Duncan. And this one smashed to center field. Jackson coming in, won't get to it. Just over the outstretched glove of Will Rhymes. And Shelley Duncan has a leadoff single for the Tribe here in inning number 2.
Not a way to hang in there.
While Scherzer collects himself, we pass along to you tonight's AT&T trivia question. Since 1950, 4 Indians players have had 200 or more hits in a season. Can you name them? I know one of them, and Mike Hargrove managed him. And then I think he had back-to-back 200 hit seasons, maybe in the old stadium.
I think he did too.
Yeah. There's Orlando Cabrera. Takes a breaking ball for a strike.
I think this guy has been a big reason, and I could be really wrong, but I think this guy's been a big reason for the early season successes of the Indians. It's his presence in the infield and how he's helped Laporta even in spring training. I think has made a huge difference.
He's a playing coach is what it's been like for these young guys, I think.
Scherzer delivers, and it's down low. Mike, I remember in spring training, Tim Belcher talked to us about Chad Durbin and how he had a calming influence on some of the young pitchers in the bullpen. And I almost think that Cabrera maybe has had a similar impact for the young infielders, young infield position players.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Tim's right too. But I wouldn't say that Cabrera's presence has been a calming presence. I think he's kept him on point.
Yeah.
I mean, because they do something right, he's right over in the hip pocket saying, "Hey, look, that's not the way you do it."
Yeah.
And he did that early on in spring training in bunt defense drills. It was good. And a lot of times you get veteran players in that you bring them in for that reason. And for whatever reason, their personality, whatever it is, that won't allow them to step out step out and do that. This guy has no problem doing that. It's good to see.
Cabrera out on strikes. How beneficial is that for a manager to have a player that does that, takes that role, as opposed to you having to point out mistakes and go over things constantly?
Yeah, well, Rick and I were talking about this. I think it was yesterday, and good team. You see all the good teams, and in good teams, the players police themselves. There's an acceptable pattern of how you play, and there's unacceptable, and the manager, the coaches can just beat on you till your ears bleed, and they hear you, but they listen to you, but they're not really hearing you, and you get a player to come in like a Cabrera or somebody like that and say, "Hey, look, but that's not acceptable. That's not how you win baseball. You got to hit the cutoff man. You got to do this. You got to do that," and mention one little thing a teammate can say, and all of a sudden it clicks. Tom McCraw used to say all the time when he was a hitting instructor here. Rick, you remember Tommy? Mm-hmm. He said he didn't mind other people talking hitting to his hitters because everybody has different ways of saying the same thing, and that's kind of the way it works.
But you do need players to call you out, especially young players that are coming up to learn how to play the game the way it should be played, and it's respecting the game and doing it the right way.
You bet.
Strike called.
There's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it, and not only today's game, but back when we played and before then,
it doesn't change.
Not everybody played the game the right way. You have to learn how to play it, and you have to learn how to play it at the big league level because it is a different game than college and minor league ball and high school ball. it's on a completely different plane.
0-2 the count here for Brantley with a runner at first, 1 out. And Brantley rung up by home plate umpire Mike DeMuro. 2 down.
Scherzer now 7 for 7 first pitch strikes. This guy, he's pounding the strike zone. He's not messing around. He found that zone. And, well, that may be a pretty friendly zone right there. It could be a long night for Indians hitters if that's called a strike, I'm going to tell you. Look at Brantley now. You see, Michael's got a good eye. He knows, he's got plate coverage. And believe me, you go ask him, and he's going to tell you that ball was about 4 inches outside. And I think he's right.
Here's Matt Laporta now. And a swing and a miss. And he was looking for that first pitch fastball. And Scherzer crossed him up.
Well, if you're looking for the first pitch fastball, you shouldn't swing at the slider. That's the key.
Don't
right
you love
there.
how he says that?
Well, he's right. He's so right. It made me laugh, but he's so right. I had that conversation with hitters all the time. Say, what are you going up there looking for? I'm looking for a fastball. And they say, well, then why did you swing at the curveball?
Right.
I mean, I don't understand. If you're looking at one pitch and you swing this other one, then that's counterproductive.
And, I mean, especially on the first pitch, you haven't seen him yet. I mean, so you're looking fastball, which you should be looking for. So you spin on that slider. And if it's a strike, okay, I'm down to the count 0-1, but at least you got to look at his slider.
Well, Matt starts his bat real early. I mean, he does. You watch him take. Yeah, you watch him take pitches and
high fly ball to center should get him out of the inning. So
We'll talk about it
later.
And we'll go to the third inning here in Cleveland. Detroit on top 2-0. Back here at top of the third, I want to remind you to stay tuned later in the game to see our Miller Taste Greatness moment. Top of the third inning, it will be Maglio Ordonez, Miguel Cabrera, and Brendan Bosch for Detroit. Friday night here at Progressive Field, Indians trying to run their home winning streak to 11 in a row.
First fireworks night of the season as well, following today's game. Also have it going on tomorrow night.
That ball inside almost nipped Ordonez, who grounded out weakly to third base his first time up. Indians also an opportunity to set the franchise record for wins in the month of April. They'll get more than one opportunity at it. But when you think about it, we started the season a little bit earlier this year than normal. So that's why you have more games in the month of April.
It was a week earlier than we did last year.
16 wins are still 16 wins.
Well, the last time was when your ball club did it in 99 or 96, wasn't it? 16 wins in the month of April.
I think so.
Both years, yeah. As Dribble Cabrera throws out Maglio Ordonez one away. Hey, don't miss a new edition of Minor League Magazine Tuesday at 6. Al Pawlowski, Jason Stanford bring you all the news and updates in the Indians minor league system this week. They'll interview Minor League Player of the Week, Akron Arrows left-hander Nick Hagedorn. That's Tuesday at 6 on STO HD. Here's Miguel Cabrera. He slugged that 2-out, 2-run homer in the first that staked the Tigers to this 2-0 lead.
Well, if there's any Tigers hitter that you don't want to make a mistake to, it's this guy. And that's exactly what Genmar did. He made a mistake, left a changeup up in the middle of the plate.
Broke his bat on this bouncer.
There you go.
As Dribble Cabrera has an easy play. 2 away.
All right, the music festival taking place Saturday, June 11th. It's featuring Brad Paisley, Blake Shelton, Jared Neiman, and 7 other artists. Save $10 on all seat locations. Just visit Indians.com. Use the password Paisley.
Brennan Bosch reached on an error in the first inning and then was thrown out trying to steal. 2 down in the top of the third. And it's down low for ball 1.
And by the way, that goes through Sunday.
Thanks for adding.
Good friend of mine, Jim Mantell, who used to work here in town, said that Brad Paisley was his all-time favorite entertainer.
No kidding.
I don't see it, but
well, I'll tell you what, he hosts those country music awards, and he was pretty entertaining on there. So, well, I bet Jim will be here then.
I don't think so.
Why?
Oh, he's in North Carolina right now.
Well, he may come back.
He may come back. I'm going to call him.
I'm going to send him some tickets.
He's going to fire up that Harley.
That's right. He'd be
right on up the highway. Now the 2-0 pitch to Bosch. A little bit outside, 3 balls. No strikes. Ryan Rayburn would be next.
Well, Genmar could use a nice quick 1-2-3 inning and get that offense back into the dugout.
And there is a called strike. By the way, you're talking about the 16 wins in April. The Indians did it in 1999. They were 16-6 in April that year. In 1996, 16-8. And then in 1988, the Indians were 16-6 in April. Fouled right back, full count.
Well, that's nice. I mean, you get out to a good start, and then, the talk has been around here that, boy, the Indians never get off to a good start. Like you said, it just helps you with your confidence, especially for a young ball club. And then when you do hit a little skid that every team hits, you're not going to bury yourself underwater. You still keep your head above water and then pick it up from that point on.
There could be a huge difference in how you approach the rest of the season.
Then you can still battle and say, all right, let's get to 10 games over 500 after you have your little slump, instead of saying, hey, let's get back to 500. And that's usually what you do when you're buried. You start playing to just win every other day instead of winning the series.
Yeah, 500 becomes a goal.
Yeah, it sure does.
And that's not a good way to go.
I agree. Your job is to win every series, which is 2 out of 3, and that's exactly what the Indians are doing right now.
Gomez with another 3-2 offering coming up here to Brennan Bosch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Gomez gets his second K. Tigers go 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. Words for Genmar Gomez, who just worked a 1-2-3 top half of this third inning. And it's a 2-0 Tigers lead. Jack Hanahan will lead off for the Tribe. Takes a good fastball for a strike.
Well, since those back-to-back walks in the first inning from Scherzer, he has thrown 17 pitches. 15 have been strikes. So he found that zone.
Pop back in. This will get out of play. No. Super Manahan has been just that here of late. Got that batting average up to 290. He's hit an 8 straight. And of course had the 2-homer game.
Well, he's starting to hit right-handers better. You know, he was really to a point where he was struggling, but he's on the road trip. He started hitting the ball to left field, staying on the right-handers, maybe because he was seeing it so well. He was killing left-handers, but now he's staying on it and hitting the right-handers.
It's funny how that works.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it really, really is. And you know, you really discipline yourself. You got to stay in, being a left-hander. You have to stay in on the left-handers and really, you know, make it as simple as you can. You start seeing the right-handers a little bit better, and you start trying to do too much. And
right, you don't do as much with the left-handers. You just try and hit the ball up the middle and the other way.
Swung on and missed. Boy, Scherzer looks tough here at the outset. That's his 4th strikeout already. Let's check in once again tonight with Katie Witham.
Hey guys, I'm over here hanging out with Jared, Chris, and Andrew. They're so excited right now because I told them tomorrow is the first Kids Fun Day. They're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it. Make sure you get out here early to the ballpark. We've got pregame activities going on for you and your family, and the fun will continue on Sunday. KeyBank Kids Fun Days on Sunday start at 10:30 out on the Gateway Plaza and stay to move it around the bases, sponsored by the Cleveland Clinics. Go to theindians.com to get your tickets in advance now, guys.
Thanks, Katie. Here's Grady Sizemore looking at a ball outside. Reminder, tomorrow special 6:05 start time.
Like
Indians
that.
and the Tigers. Game 2 of this matchup will feature the Major League debut of Alex White, the Indians' first-round draft pick of 09. Getting the call up to make his first Major League start tomorrow night. Hope to see you down here at the ballpark. I mean, a beautiful evening weather-wise. If you can't make it, we'll have it for you right here on STO. Rick, myself, and Mike Hargrove.
Should be a fun time. This kid's got a good arm.
2-0 to Sizemore, missed again. 3 balls, no strikes. Grady out on strikes his first time up.
Ball has been jumping off his bat, Grover. I mean,
it's
been unbelievable. He has been hitting the gaps out there, hitting the long balls, and it's making a loud sound. 12 extra base hits.
Now the 3-1 delivery from Scherzer. And an off-speed pitch is in there to run the count full.
It's really a good 3-1 pitch there. Changeup down and in. Grady wasn't looking for it. That's why he took it.
He's going against the grain.
Yeah.
Payoff pitch. Got in just enough on him. Popped it up to the shortstop, Peralta. 2 down. Take a look at our minor league report brought to you by Kia. Lonnie Chisenhall last night, a 2-run homer in a 2-1 win. And he's picking it up now, hitting in 7 of his last 8 games with a dozen knocks during that time. Also, if you missed it, the Indians activated Jason Donald from the disabled list and sent him to AAA Columbus. And they also reacquired Josh Rodriguez, who was a Rule 5 draft pick by the Pittsburgh Pirates. They gave him back to the Indians. So they've got a glut of infielders now at AAA Columbus. As Drupal Cabrera walked his first time up, 2 down here in the 3rd. And a swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for Max Scherzer. And the Tigers lead it 2-0 through 3. Fourth inning and still got a little sunlight.
Yeah,
Days starting
yes,
to creep a little longer.
Yeah, you got to love that.
You know some good weather has to be right around the corner. Not only here in Ohio, but all over the Midwest, even the East Coast, just been battered by a long winter. And it's been a rough spring so far as well. Very wet in most parts. Ryan Rayburn leads off. Fair ball. Late call by third base ump Jim Reynolds. And that took a wicked kick back towards the infield. And it's a double for Rayburn. He must have hit the lip at the end of the tarp and shot right back towards third base. Brantley was expecting it to kick toward him, but it didn't come that way.
That ball also looked like it caught line, if it did. To be honest with you, Brantley didn't feel like it, so Manny Actor's out there talking to third base umpire Jim Reynolds. Goes over the bag. There it is. It got chalked.
Boy, it sure did.
That was a fair ball.
I had an umpire one time. We're playing in Milwaukee. Ben Ogilvy's at the plate. He hits a rocket right down the line. And it was the first inning, and they had the field wet and drug, and the mark of the ball was about 3 inches in foul territory. Umpire called fair ball. And I said, it can't be foul ball. It's fair ball. So there's a mark right there. And he went over and rubbed that mark out and said, where? You made your point.
You got it.
Johnny Peralta flied to right his first time up, looks at a ball inside.
I remember an umpire when you were managing in Baltimore, and we were there on opening day, and he called a fair ball when the ball hit the stands in the snowstorm.
Yeah, I do. I remember that. Hafner hit it, didn't he?
Ellis Burks.
Ellis
Burks
hit it. Yeah, I do remember that.
Remember, it hit the stands, and it ricocheted into fair territory. And
it was just like a sudden snow cloud burst out of nowhere.
It was a blizzard. And 2 days later was 70 degrees.
Yeah, but it didn't snow the whole game, and we just had like a burst of snow at one time late in that game.
Microburst.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, there you go.
You watch the Weather Channel.
I watch Weather Channel sometimes. Yeah.
Now the set. Gomez with a 1-1, and Peralta takes it down low.
I had an umpire one time in Baltimore. The pitcher balked with bases loaded and didn't call it. I went out and said, he balked. He said, I know he did, but he didn't mean to. I said, no, wait a minute. No,
he didn't call it?
Yeah, didn't call it.
He didn't mean to.
He said he didn't mean to. And I said, well, I'm sure he didn't mean to, but still, he balked.
Gomez deals, and it's up high. 3 balls and a strike. Left-handed hitting Alex Avila waits on deck. Gomez over the 50-pitch mark. Set the Tigers down 3 straight in the third. But the leadoff double by Ryan Rayburn just barely fair as the Tigers looking to add to their lead now. Ground ball right to the second baseman, Orlando Cabrera. He'll take care of Peralta, but Rayburn moves to third now with 1 out. Let's go back to the studios right now for an in-game update with Al Pulowski.
Hey, Matt, Rick, Mike, let's go to New York here where the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Yankees, and Russell Martin gets the Yankees on the board here in the second inning with his double. Brings in Robinson Cano, and then just now, Jose Bautista, a home run to left. The Blue Jays are up 2-1. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Al. Indians will bring the infield in with a runner at third and 1 out, and Alex Avila, who just missed hitting a home run his first time up. He smashed one deep to right field off the wall. Well, Gomez got out of a jam in the second inning. Let's see if he can do it again here in the fourth and keep this a 2-0 game. Low for ball 1.
Let me ask you this question, Mike. What dictates a manager bringing the infield in? It's the middle part of the game. They're swinging the bats very well as a team. Does he think Scherzer's on his game? Is that why he brings him in with a 2-0 lead?
I'm sure that probably is part of it. You know, a long time ago, I say a long time ago, 20, 25 years ago, the whole idea was to
got back there in time.
Was to stay away from the beginning, from the first to the fifth, and then take your chances from the sixth through the ninth. That thinking has changed over the years, and you know, we were one of the first ones to start doing it. Here is playing the infield in from the first inning on, because for every run scored, you got to score 2 to get the lead back. And with a runner on third base and 1 out, it makes sense here. If the guy gets on, he's going to be on at first base. It
certainly helps too when you have a ground ball pitcher.
On
the mound, let's say a Carmona or a Masterson.
Brantley makes the catch and foul ground. His throw to the plate is offline, and that enables Rayburn to score to make it 3-0 Detroit. And Alex Avila picks up his 17th RBI on the year.
But it's a tough call. It really is a tough call whether to play him in or play him back.
Right.
You just it's if it works, it's great. If it doesn't, then people are going to say, "What in the world are you thinking?" And that comes with the job.
Well, that's a tough play there for Brantley because he couldn't set himself underneath the ball. He had to go to the stands and catch it in foul territory to throw it. That's why it was offline.
Tell you what, though, if his throw had been online, they might have had him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He couldn't set himself. It would have been fun. It would have been fun to see that. But you got to go catch that ball anyway.
Brandon Inge awaiting the 1-0. Hit deep to left. Back goes Brantley. And he watches it hit just above the padded fence. Right at almost where the padded fence meets the out-of-town scoreboard. And a 2-out double for Brandon Inge. That's already their 4th extra base hit tonight.
Yeah, out of the 7 hits, you're right. 4 extra bases, their 3rd double. And again, he gets beat on a breaking ball that he leaves up in the zone. And it looked like, Inge didn't really stay back on it. He kept his hands back enough, and it hits it off the wall.
Just hung there long enough for him to get his bat to it.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's why. When that breaking ball's up, they don't have to have good swings on it for those things to go a long way.
Now Austin Jackson. Base hit his last time up, 1 for 2 tonight. Fastball outside corner at the knees. .60 pitches on the night for Genmar Gomez. Just 35 for strikes. Grounded weakly towards short. As Dribble Cabrera, that ball might have been tipped by Hanahan. And he just didn't come up with it cleanly. So Tigers at the corners, still 2 out.
It just went under Hanahan's glove, I think, and Cabrera was going to have to just grab it and get rid of it. He wasn't able to set his feet because Jackson can get down the line. So watch it. He let it go.
No, I think he tipped it just a little bit. I don't think it made a difference, but as you pointed out, I don't think he was going to get him either way. Now Will Rhymes 1 for 2 on the night. Singled and scored in the first. In the air center field, Grady Sizemore. He's got it, and the inning is over. But Detroit adds a run to their lead, 3-zip. Tigers, middle of the 4th. here at Progressive Field. Shin-Soo Choo will lead off for the Indians. And looks at ball one. Choo walked his first time up. Scherzer's made 48 pitches. 31 of them have been strikes.
Scherzer has been dealing. He's got 5 punch-outs. And he has been in command and in control. Even when he falls behind hitters, he can come back and throw his off-speed pitches for strikes.
Choo with a line drive, base hit into right field. Just a second hit tonight for the Tribe, but they get their leadoff man aboard for the second time. And the other time was the other hit. The leadoff single by Duncan in the second.
Well, the fans starting to realize Choo's heating up. So after that swing, there was a lot of Choos going on in the stands. But that was a good swing, too, and then he pulled that one. And that he didn't have a hit like that in the whole Kansas City series, but Scherzer tried to run that heater by him inside, and he turned on it.
Well, the one thing Scherzer has done tonight that I've seen that I'm impressed with, he hasn't given in to our hitters.
Right.
When he has been behind, which hadn't been very often, he's still tried to make his pitches. I mean, he threw Sizemore a 3-0 changeup.
Right.
So he continues to pitch, and to do that, you got to have a lot of confidence in your ability to get hitters out.
Carlos Santana bounced into the inning-ending double play in the first after the back-to-back walks to Cabrera and Choo. And that didn't miss by much. It's 1-1. By the way, our scoreboard update brought to you by your new Ford Focus, the all-new 2012 Ford Focus. Ford, drive one. Check out your Northern Ohio Ford dealers. Long hold here. Now the pitch is a little bit high. 2 balls and a strike for Santana.
I got to take time out to send our boy down in the clubhouse, Mr. Tony Amato, turning 40 years old today. Wow. Tony in charge. Yeah, he's been here since he's been 16 years old. He's worked for the Indians.
I remember Tony when he was 16.
I know. Hey, Tony, happy birthday, 10. Big boy.
Now, does that mean he reaches official maturity?
No. We've extended his age to at least 43, possibly 45. I've got to go talk to him tonight.
It's 2-2 now for Carlos Santana.
A couple other birthdays I want to get in. Chris Brown of Cortland is turning 79. Chris, happy birthday. And Helen Podbilski from Garfield is 93. Happy birthday to you.
Tony's a good man, and he does a good job.
Tony does a great job. Sure does. Him and his boys in the clubhouse. You start. I'm not going to name anybody else because if you don't name all of them, somebody gets mad at you. So we're just going to. It's Tony's day. Happy birthday, T.
Now the set. And a lob toss over to first.
They got to string something together, get a couple guys on, and see if they can get the crowd into it a little bit here.
Scherzer has kept the crowd quiet with his strong pitching performance to this point. And the 2-2, Santana swing and a miss. He strikes out. 6 Ks for Scherzer. 1 down here in the fourth.
Change up, down, away. Good movement on it. That's an excellent pitch. You see that little circle change going down out of the strike zone. And he's got enough on. He's throwing 93, 94 miles an hour that you got to sit on that heater.
Shelley Duncan singled to center his first time up. Scherzer's got those quick feet when he jumps towards first to make the throw, and then it's almost like he throws lobs over there.
Well, you can run on him. I wouldn't be surprised to see Choo take off because he's about 1.5 to the plate, and that's slow for a pitcher. See, he got back. He had him almost timed. Somebody said so. Must have been Cabrera over there that alerted him.
That's an instance where I'm surprised you don't see more pitchers balk.
Well, they have time. I mean, there's a long way between first and second. You do have time, but I mean, your initial reaction when someone yells at you up there is to,
jerk.
flinch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they don't fall off the rubber.
Shelly Duncan takes a strike.
Scherzer, and I take that back. He's about 1.15 to 1.2 to home plate, which is below average.
And the right-hander fires,
which is a good thing.
Outside corner.
Which is a good thing.
It's a good thing. The average is about 1.3 for a pitcher, so if you guys are sitting in the dugout with the stopwatches, okay, he's below 1.3. You better be careful, especially if the catcher's release is 2 seconds or below?
Even 1.9, yeah. Hey, you get a pitcher at 1.3, 1.4, 1.35, then if a guy can, you take your chances.
Duncan down on the count, 0-2. There's that slider missed outside.
And really, the only time you'd have to factor in a catcher's release and arm if they're that slow is if it's Pudge Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's good.
He made up a lot of difference for a lot of slow pitchers.
He sure did for many, many years. He's still doing it. I watched him last night throw a guy out at second base, and he was running off the field and gave a little wink because he's still doing it after about 15, 16 years. Yep. Oh, boy, that's a tough pitch to lay off as a right-hander. That's a teaser. It looked like he took maybe a little something more off the breaking ball, and as a right-hander, boy, that's a tough one to lay off.
And sometimes you get fooled so bad you can't swing. I don't know if that's what happened right there. That was a good pitch to take.
Well, he had a good at bat in his first at bat, a 1-2 slider. Yeah. He got a base hit.
60th pitch of the night for Scherzer, and Duncan grounds it to third. Inge goes to second for one. Rhymes' relay is in time. It's an inning-ending double play for the second time tonight for the Tribe. 4 complete. Tigers 3, Indians nothing. United, proud to fly the Cleveland Indians. By your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, it's time to join the Hyundai movement. And by Panini's. Get overstuffed at any one of 18 locations in Northeast Ohio. Beautiful sunset out on Lake Erie tonight. Here at Progressive Field, Indians down 3-0. As we go to the 5th inning, Maglio Ordonez, Miguel Cabrera, and Brennan Bosch. And a ground ball foul for Ordonez, who is 0 for 2. Twice he has grounded out tonight. Down in the dirt. 1-1. Gomez has given up 3 runs on 8 hits through 4 innings. The 1-1 to Ordonez. Drill it down the right field line. Foul into the corner. While we have a moment, want to send out best wishes to B. Siegel, who sent us a nice note along with a donation for the Gathering Place in memory of her daughter, the late Becky Kasanik. And she also wanted us to wish her husband a happy birthday tonight. He is 88 years old, but B, you didn't pass along his name to us. So,
Mr. Siegel,
that's
happy
all,
birthday.
You know what? They know who he is, and that's all that matters.
Maybe she didn't want to mention his name.
Well, happy birthday anyway.
Gomez. Ordonez just punches it down the right side for a base hit. And
just served it out there, didn't he?
Yeah, Tigers get their leadoff man aboard for the 3rd time tonight.
That's why Ordonez always has been a good average hitter, because look at this. He'll just slap it the other way. That's all you're going to give him, and he'll take it. And, boy, when you're down there hitting on the interstate at about 170, you'll take those hits. Now, those are the ones that get you going. Start using that part of the field and work your way around.
Now here is Miguel Cabrera. 2-run homer in the first, grounded to short his last time up when Gomez got inside on him and broke his bat. In tight. And it's off the plate to even the count. In that first inning, there was the hanging breaking ball from Gomez. And Miguel Cabrera doesn't miss many of those. That home run for Cabrera, his 6th already this year, and now 18 runs driven in. Grounded foul third base side. The RBI monster in the American League is Ben Zobrist of Tampa Bay. Started the night with the lead at 25 driven in after he had 18 in 5 games.
Yeah, he had 18 over his last 5 games. What a day. You see, he had 10 ribbies and 7 hits in the doubleheader yesterday.
There are people who don't have that many in a career.
High pop foul, and Laporta gives it a look, but it's into the crowd.
Tampa Bay, too, after starting the year off 0-6, have really come back into play. They're 14-11, trailing the Yankees by a game and a half. So a good comeback by them.
They're tied with the Angels right now in the 4th inning at home, but they're trying to run their win streak to 6 in a row.
Well, the Rays got rid of that Devil Rays in their name, and it made all the difference in the world.
It sure did. It sure did.
Had nothing to do with the talent they had, just got rid of the name.
In the dirt. 2-2. Wasn't going to hang that one. Ordonez at first base, held there by Laporta. Maniac's club down 3-0 here in the 5th. Drilled to deep center. Back goes Sizemore. Onto the track. He makes the catch right in front of the bullpen. Ordonez went back to tag at first, and he moves up to second on the play. 1 away.
Well, it's a good play by Ordonez on a ball hit that deep. If you can get yourself into scoring position, go ahead. He hits it a long way. He stays inside. Boy, he was trying to stay inside that ball. Hits it about as deep as you can to center field. Grady gets back there. And then he's got to get that ball in a hurry, so Ordonez tags up.
Brennan Bosch 0 for 2 tonight. Popped in the air. Left field, Michael Brantley coming in. He's got it, 2 down. Monday night at 8, join Jim Donovan, Tony Grossi, and Doug Deacon for a special draft edition of Browns Red Zone. They'll put a wrap on the draft with their opinions on how the Browns did. That's the Browns Red Zone special draft wrap-up edition, Monday night at 8, right here on STO.
We're going to have football this year or not?
I think that it looks like, based on the last few rulings, the way the courts keep ruling in favor of the players, it would appear that we're headed that way. And the owners are sort of running out of options as far as the courts are concerned. The big question now is, what rules are they going to play under? You know, what's the free agency system going to be like? Still a lot to be determined. Now the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed.
So are we going to see football or not?
You know what?
Yeah, you didn't answer the question.
I think so. Yeah, I do. I really do. And you know what? The thing that I guess I always relate things back to baseball, because in 1994 we were all affected by this, but at least they had the courts intervening now. Whereas in baseball, we waited months and months and nothing happened.
You got a point.
Well, and not only is the football's agreement there, basketball, theirs is up, their agreement, and baseball at the end of this year. But I don't think baseball is going to stop. That's going to be fine, I think. And normally, it's always baseball. People who think baseball is the one that's going to shut down. It won't be this year.
2-1 pitch. Fouled out of play.
As long as they don't come up with that replacement player thing again.
Oh, how about that? Remember that?
I had a guy.
That was tough.
I had a guy that was at the plate. Big guy. His name was, I can't remember. I can't say his name anyway. He's at the plate, and I had him take 3-0, and he took the next 2 pitches, 2, and struck out. And after the game, he came in my office, and he said, I'll say Bill. He said, Bill don't take pitches.
Oh, get out of here.
I said, Bill, you need to walk out of my office and let's try this again. This is not going down the road you want to go down with this.
The 2-2 pitch.
Bill don't take 3-0.
Bill don't take 3-0 pitches.
Joe Boo has hats for bats.
Yeah, if he hadn't been so big, I might have ripped his throat out. But I know a lot of people worked hard to put that together, but it was not a fun experience.
It was terrible. We were a part of it, man. We went through that, and then all of a sudden it ended, and we came right back for spring training.
Yeah.
Then the real big leaguers came.
80th pitch of the night here for Jenmar Gomez, and the 3-2 is swung on and missed. Gomez gets his 3rd strikeout. All 3 of them have ended an inning here tonight. Provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Bottom half of the 5th inning. And the Indians find themselves on a short end of a 3-0 score. Max Scherzer has shut down the Tribe's vaunted offense tonight, limiting them to just 2 hits. Beat into the ground right out in front of the plate. Avila throws him out. Our game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. In the 1st inning, a 2-out, 2-run home run by Miguel Cabrera staked the Tigers to a 2-0 lead. Then a sac fly by Alex Avila in the 4th made it 3-0. And Max Scherzer has made it stand up with 6 strikeouts through 4 and now 1/3 inning. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. Michael Brantley takes a and the 0-1 is down low. In the air, left field near the line. Rayburn over, makes the grab. 2 away. Well, the Indians came into this game with the highest run scoring differential in baseball. I mean, that's how good not only has the offense been, but because the pitching has been limiting the opposition to so few runs. They've been just, in a lot of cases, blowing people out. But tonight, Scherzer has had the antidote.
That's right. Max Scherzer's the story of the night so far.
Laporta with a lazy pop and a quick 1, 2, 3, 5th inning for Max Scherzer on 6 pitches. 5 complete, 3-0 Detroit. Coupons for the Subway Extreme Fan Zone. It's the place to be for a chance to win Subway gift cards, Indians fun money, and you'll get great discounts on your next Subway purchase. Subway, where winners eat. Johnny Peralta, Alex Avila, Brandon Inge due up for Detroit here in the 6th inning. Genmar Gomez, 80 pitches through 5 innings. He gave up the 2-out, 2-run homer in the 1st, got out of a key bases-loaded jam in the 2nd inning, set him down 1-2-3 in the 3rd, and then did give up a run in the 4th, but worked around some potential trouble that could have made that a much worse inning. Bounce foul by Peralta. I mean, on most nights, what Gomez has done so far, while it's not the kind of start that you're going to grab a lot of headlines with, but you'd be happy with what he's done so far. The problem is he's up against a guy who's shutting you down on the other side on just 2 hits.
Well, you look at the pitch counts, and Scherzer has, had 20 some odd pitches the first inning. I think he had ended up with 66 at the end of the fifth. He's gotten through 4 innings in less than 40 pitches. That's some serious dealing right there, and he's done a good job.
Well, Genmar, you're facing the team too, the Tigers that struggling offensively coming into today. They had opportunities to knock Genmar out of the game. They haven't been able to do it yet. So you're getting to that point now where you got to be careful with Gomez. Because you want to keep this, you don't want to give up any more now. 3-0 the way Scherzer's pitching.
Down low to Peralta, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Johnny fly to right in the second, grounded to second base. His last time up. And the count is now full. And the 3-2 pitch is hit foul by Peralta, out of play. And hit just past Gomez. Backhanded by Cabrera. Off balance throw on the money. Nicely turned there by Orlando Cabrera as he had to go far to his right, and then with a backhanded play, do that stop, jump in the air, and throw.
Well, this will go as our McDonald's. I'm loving it, but you know who's running. So he realized he has time with Peralta going down the line. He didn't have to rush it. But it's a nice defensive play. Jump up in the air, gather yourself, make an accurate throw, and you retire him for the first out.
Alex Avila doubled in the second inning. Off the wall in right center field, then drove home the last run for Detroit in the fourth inning that made it 3-0. Getting some activity now in the Indians bullpen with 1 out here in inning number 6. Hit on the ground in the hole. Cabrera can't get that one. And a 1-out single here in the 6th inning for Avila. Once again, let's check in with Katie Witham tonight. She's out in the bleachers.
I am. I'm out here hanging out with the Grider family. We want to get your family out here. Check out the KeyBank Grand Slam 4-pack. It's got everything you need. 4 tickets, food, 4 Indians caps, and parking. Go to Indians.com to get more of those. But also, guys, we've got the official MLB All-Star ballots have come out. I'm here with Austin. He's taking a look. Who are you going to vote for? What do you think? Chew. But Rick, just so you know, he was looking for Rick Manning on here, and he was like, I'm going to have to go with Chew.
He'd have to be looking a long time. I was never on the ballot.
How did she manage to find the one Tigers fan out there in the bleachers right behind her, huh? Right church, wrong pew.
Rick has his own ballot. I voted for him a couple of times.
Tim Belcher out to talk with Genmar Gomez as the bullpen
Well,
continues to heat up.
I don't think Manny wants him to go any more than get back up to the 4th time through the lineup. So they're stalling for time to see if I think it's Durbin throwing out in the Indians bullpen and let him get loose.
By the way, while we have a moment here, I want to react to Mike's earlier question about whether or not we're going to have football this year. I'm going to amend my answer. The Federal Appeals Court finally ruled in favor of the owners, so the lockout is now back on.
Okay, so now he changed his mind.
The owners have their first win in court.
Let's flip a coin.
Oh, boy.
They'll play.
Oh, I hope they do. For them and for everybody. What are we going to do on Sunday afternoon? I might have to talk to Sharon. I don't know whether she wants that or not.
Brandon Inge awaiting the 1-0 pitch, and the runner goes, and it's hit up the middle towards short. Cabrera can't beat him to the bag. Takes a wicked tumble, throws him. No, Laporta didn't come up with it at first base. So all that for nothing. Boy, Asdrubal Cabrera took a pretty nasty spill.
You know, it's almost like he tried to make a great play there, and he should have just taken the out at first base. There's some times where you have to take what's given to you, and with the runner off and running, and it was the catcher. He tried to get that play's in front of him. He sees that the catcher was going to beat him to second base. He should have just thrown it to first, and Laporta doesn't come up with it. So they're safe, and I'm sure Cabrera will get the error. He ran right into it, and the base runner, that wasn't his fault. He did a nice job of trying to get into the way.
It is an error charged to Asdrubal. So 2 on, 1 out, and Austin Jackson to the plate. And Jackson, who came in hitting 167, is 2 for 3. All he needed to see was Chief Wahoo out there.
That's exactly right. The way he hit the Indians last year, I looked at the numbers. I said, this guy can't be hitting $160.
There's a strike called, and it's quickly 0-2. Jackson hit .382 last year against the Indians. 29 hits and 76 at bats.
He was always on base. I mean, if there was one knock against him last year, is he strikes out a lot. You know, he did last year. I think he led the league in strikeouts. And you look at him this year, he with his 2 hits tonight. Jackson struck out 31 times, and he's walked 8 times.
Inside, he missed 2-2.
Well, you can do one or two things with a hitter like that that's hot. You either pitch him better, or you start telling him what's coming.
Yeah.
If you tell him what's coming, he's not going to believe you, and they have him on the edge. So,
well, he broke onto the scene. You remember they traded him. They got him from the Yankees for Curtis Granderson, and you know, this guy, he made a lot of people forget about Curtis Granderson, who was an outstanding player over in Detroit. But now, getting off to a slow start, his second year, they're making adjustments. He's striking out at the same rate he was last year, but he's not getting hits. You know, he had 21 runs scored at this point last year. This year he has 9. You know, and then, as I told you to begin with, the batting average was down 200 points. So people start looking and say, hey, what's going on? And he doesn't have a track record like Jimmy Leland likes that you can go on.
The 2-2. Struck him out looking. Genmar Gomez with his 4th strikeout tonight. And it couldn't have come at a better time. 2 down here in the 6th inning.
A little comeback fastball on the outside edge, and there it is. A good pitch on the outside corner. That's the first strikeout he didn't get with 2 outs.
And that's going to be his final hitter of the ballgame. Manny Acta has made the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world. have 2 on and 2 out. And Indians right-hander Chad Durbin coming on for the Tribe, his 10th appearance on the year. No wins, a loss, and an ERA of 6.75. 9 1/3 innings. He's walked 5, struck out 6. And he'll be facing the left-handed hitting Will Rhymes, who is 1 for 3 on the night.
Well, Gomez 5 2/3 innings, 10 hits. Didn't walk anybody. That's a good thing today. Struck out 4.
Will Rhymes, 27th round pick 6 years ago out of William and Mary. Made it to the big leagues in 2010, last year for Detroit, and did a nice job in 54 games. He hit .304. So Gomez kind of bobbed and weaved his way through 5 2/3 innings. But what he has done is he's kept the Indians in it. They're within striking distance. And especially if Durbin can get out of this jam here.
One big out right here.
Durbin's pitch is a little bit outside for ball 1. Fouled off to the left. Evens it up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Just a bit high. 2 balls and a strike. Alex Avila, the runner at second base. Brandon Inge is at first with 2 down. Here in the top half of inning number 6. Durbin's 2-1 is hit down the left side, slicing out of play. The Indians have Frank Herman in the bullpen tonight, but his stay could be very short-lived, with the Indians announcing that Alex White will make his major league debut tomorrow. They'll have to make room not only in the 25-man roster, but they'll also have to make a move to get him on the active 40-man roster. The 2-2. Speculation is that Herman would be the guy that goes back to Columbus, but who goes off the 40-man roster, well, that's not clear at this point.
Yet to be determined.
Yeah. I'm sure it's already been determined, but they just haven't let us know yet.
Don't have to announce it till tomorrow.
Exactly right. Two on, 2 out. 2-2 pitch. And the breaking ball missed. Full count. Magglio Ordonez would be next. Durbin deals. Runners go. It's ball 4. So Chad walks Will Rhymes, and the bases are now loaded with 2 out. And before Magglio Ordonez steps in, let's step away for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
All right, Matt, let's go to Chicago South Side where the White Sox are hosting Baltimore, and A.J. Pierzynski gets Chicago on the board with a 2-run homer to right. Chicago adds another in the second inning. They lead it now 3-0, and they're still batting. Back to you at Progressive Field.
All right, thanks, Al. Tim Belcher going to make a trip out to talk with Durbin.
White Sox heading home, trying to get some home cooking. You know, everybody in the Central Division over the last at least 2 days. Chicago's lost the last 2. Kansas City's on a 6-game losing streak. Detroit and Minnesota at 3-game losing streaks.
Yeah. Mike, when you're in the dugout and the pitching coach goes out, how often is it your call to send the pitching coach, and how often does the pitching coach come to you and say, hey, I need to go out and talk to him?
You know, that's a good question. It's probably every 10 visits, he'll ask 3 times.
So it's not always just your call.
No, he'll ask, and you obviously want to know why why he wants to visit the mound, because you got to manage your visits. And if it's a legitimate deal, it usually is, you let him go.
Bases loaded, nowhere to put Ordonez, and a first pitch strike.
And if it doesn't work, it's their fault. There's a beauty to the whole process.
There's nothing worse than being a pitching coach and having to go talk to a pitcher, and then the next guy up gets a knock or a homer or something like that. You know, they want him to get the out and come on in. I'm sure they don't want to go out to the mound.
The 0-1 fouled straight back.
Tim Belcher's done a nice job with this staff.
Yes, he has.
And Scott Radinsky out in that bullpen. These two guys have really got these guys on the right page.
Well, they're good at what they do. You know, I'm sure that Belcher's his trip that time was to talk about Ordonez and how to get
right.
that. We want to try to get him out.
The scouting report, yeah. When you got a veteran like Durbin that knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Now the 2-strike pitch. And just got a piece of it, did Ordonez, to stay alive.
Boy, that was a good pitch, too. Just got a piece of it. Down and in, he turns it over, a little sink to it. Boy, good hitters find a way to just foul it off. And even though he's not swinging the bat very well, you get guys out in scoring position to just, they intensify.
Good smother job by Santana. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Maglio Ordonez.
Uh-oh.
That is some pretty good
Why
numbers.
Why did you guys have to put that on the screen? You could have just told us that in our ears.
Right.
We didn't have to say anything.
Masochist.
Yeah. Right. File that under the we didn't need to know department. 1-2 pitch, got him looking. Oh, Chad Durbin gets a huge strikeout for the Indians. And for the second time tonight, the Tigers leave him loaded on a strikeout. It's a 3-0 Tigers lead. And as you see, Chad Durbin on the bench got a big strikeout to get out of a bases-loaded situation.
Those numbers that we showed on the screen scared me after, and then he ended up making a nice curveball pitch that started at Ordonez, and he broke it over the inside part of the plate for a strike.
And I'm pretty sure Chad Durbin was aware of those numbers when Ordonez comes to the plate.
Yes, he was.
The pitchers, they all know. Hitters know as well. Jack Hanahan struck out his only time up back in the third. Max Scherzer, a 2-hit shutout through 5. He has struck out 6. And he has retired the last 5 in a row. Indians have had their leadoff man aboard twice tonight. But in both instances, that leadoff man never got to second base. Their best opportunity to this point came in the first when, with one out, Scherzer walked back-to-back hitters. But Carlos Santana hit into an inning-ending double play.
Yeah, they haven't. That's the only time they've had, what, 2 runners on in an inning, and he has the 2 double play balls. So he has been tidy tonight. Boy, he has pitched a gem.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. That's 7 strikeouts for Scherzer.
Well, he's had 8 0-2, 1-2 counts, and he's been able to put them away. You just look at the swings and misses. I mean, he has been on his game, and he averaged over 8 strikeouts per 9 innings last year. So he's only going to get better and better. That's his 2nd year in Detroit, and they love his arm.
Already tying his season high with the 7 Ks. And we're only in the 6th. Grady Sizemore 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Back out of play. Tell you one thing though, Rick, and for whatever it's worth, we've seen games already this year though that look like they were going one way and took an abrupt turn.
Well, you have to keep it where it's at, 3-0 right now, and there's still opportunity. You just want to get this guy out of the game and possibly get into that bullpen if you can.
The problem with that, he's only made 72 pitches so far. And Grady bounces that to first. An easy play for Miguel Cabrera, 2 down. While we have a chance, let's take a look at the AT&T trivia question one more time. Since 1950, 4 Indians, 200 or more hits in a season. Well, we knew Carlos Baerga was once.
Al Rosen's got to be a guy up there as well. And let me think, who else?
Joe Carter.
Kenny.
Joe Carter and Kenny Lofton.
Your last year was what, 85 here?
Yes.
Okay, so you weren't here.
Well, when Al Rosen was there?
Yeah, I heard you 2 guys were roommates, weren't you? You and Al?
Yeah, he snored. I had to get room myself.
2 down for Asdrubal Cabrera. 0 for 1 with a walk. That was back in the first. Oof. And a line drive right back up the box.
Get down. That's a low bridge right there.
Well, this is usually the part of the game to where if you're patient and making the pitcher throw pitches early in the ball game, this is kind of the part of the game where you really kind of got to that point to where the amount of pitches started hurting the pitcher's effectiveness.
And he starts getting up a little bit. Well, I'll tell you, there he left that. It looked like a changeup to me that he left upstairs. Cabrera took it right back up the middle.
Now Shin-Soo Choo, who walked in the first and singled in the fourth. And Choo waves at a changeup.
But you see, he comes back and starts you off. A good hitter who he tried to run the fastball by inside in his last at bat when he got the single. Now starts him off with the changeup first pitch and had him out in front. So he has really mixed his pitches well tonight.
Fastball took off out of the zone. Scherzer's 1-1. Boy, he's so many times tonight. We talked about Gomez, how he made a lot of mistakes in the middle of the plate. Most of the night, Scherzer has worked on the corners, which that's the name of the game in pitching. You stay out of that middle part of the plate. He's done a good job of that.
Yes, he has. He's thrown a lot of breaking balls and off-speed pitches when he's behind in the count, which is got him back to even and gotten some outs.
Cabrera takes off, pitches high, throw down, not in time. And Asdrubal Cabrera with his second stolen base of the year in scoring position with 2 down now for Choo.
Well, I think right there, Manny sends Cabrera because you figure Choo's up there. You want to protect him a little bit. And he also felt he was going to get an off-speed pitch. Well, he picked the right pitch to steal on.
Another good reason to send him. The Indians only have 3 singles. Their hits are all singles, so If you can come up with another single here, you can at least get a run home, or you would hope. In off the plate. Full count.
Well, here's a case in point. You look at the guy who's on deck. Not that you want to bring the tying run to the plate, but he's going to go at Chu awfully hard. And he's either going to make a perfect pitch and get him to swing at his pitch, and if he walks him, he don't care. He'll go over and try and look at Santana on deck, who's been struggling.
80 pitches on the night for Max Scherzer. 50 have been strikes. Up high, ball 4. And the Indians will bring the tying run to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, he wasn't real interested in pitching to Chu after that base came open at first base.
You know what? That's exactly right. When the stolen base, I don't blame him. You know, right there, you're not going to let one of your best hitters beat you, or at least get you on the board. So I told you he's going to go at him hard and make Santana get after it.
So Carlos Santana, 0 for 2 tonight, representing the tying run at the plate.
You go into scouting reports the first day, you have your meeting with the team before you go out on the field. We're not going to let somebody beat us. Well,
right.
It's going to be Chu or Sizemore in this lineup, and if the point comes to it.
And it's low, ball 1. Carlos Santana has reached base safely 11 of his last 12 games. He's driven in a run in 6 of his last 9. And the Indians could really use a big knock from their cleanup hitter right here. Swing and a miss. He took a wicked cut. But, boy, Scherzer reached back for a little extra giddy-up.
Well, that was the hardest pitch that he threw all night. It was 95 miles an hour. You know what's really interesting is that both Santana and Chu are first ball fastball hitters.
Yeah.
And have that reputation. He starts Chu off the first pitch changeup. He swung and missed. Then he starts Santana off first pitch fastball and second pitch fastball. He's mixing them up so well that you can't just zero in on one pattern to kind of get your feet set and keep everybody off balance.
And as we also pointed out, a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times, he's just cutting corners to where the hitters are looking at it, but it's not really a pitch you want to offer at, and yet the umpire's raising that right hand, putting him in a hole. 2-1. Oh, a big pitch coming here now. 3 balls and a strike for Carlos Santana.
Well, we go back to what we said earlier about him not giving in to hitters. It'll be interesting to see what he does here.
Right.
Now, he's got the fastball or the changeup.
But this is where Carlos has to be disciplined enough to look for that one pitch, and if he doesn't get it, spin on it.
Yeah.
Crowd finally something to get excited about here. And the 3-1 pitch with 2 down on the bottom of the 6th. Up high, ball 4, and they're loaded. For the second time tonight, Max Scherzer has walked back-to-back Indians hitters, and that's going to bring a visit from Detroit pitching coach Rick Knapp.
I guess Hafner's going to be not available for any situation tonight. This would be the place.
Did say he was available to pinch hit tonight. That's what he said. But I agree with you, Rick. You've got
obviously not with 2 outs in the 6th inning. That was really interesting. That I really thought he was going to throw a 3-2 changeup. I really did. That's what he's been doing the whole game. He chose the fastball and overthrew it and left it up in the zone. I'd have been Hackett. He'd have got me. I'd been looking at that changeup.
Well, it'd be the blood starts flowing now. This is the first problem he's had, the hiccup he's had all night.
Let's see if Shelly Duncan can deliver now. And a breaking ball in there for a first pitch strike.
That's okay. Shelly took it. That's no problem. He's seen his share of those breaking balls tonight. That slider's awfully tough to right-handers.
Now the 0-1. And a ground ball single into left field. Cabrera scores. Here comes Chu. He'll score without a throw. It's a 2-out, 2-run single by Shelly Duncan, and it's a 1-run game.
Now, how do you like Shelly Duncan in that situation when you get that? He got a breaking ball, and he hit it. It's just that Scherzer left it up a little bit. So he took advantage of it, pulled it in the hole. Chu on second base with 2 outs, a great jump. So back come the Indians, right back into the ball game now. good at bat. Look at Chu. He's packing the mail, and he is riding it home, baby. 3-2 ball game.
And so the tying run in scoring position in the form of Carlos Santana, as Orlando Cabrera 0 for 2 hits a ground ball in the hole. Inge cuts it off, goes to second for the inning-ending force. But the Indians finally break through against Max Scherzer. They're on the board. It's a one-run game. Come for a location near you. Seventh inning here at Progressive Field, and the Indians right back in it now. 3-2, Detroit on top. Chad Durbin will come on, or will stay on, to work the seventh inning. Durbin walked Will Rhymes to load the bases in the sixth inning, but struck out Maglio Ordonez looking to end the threat. Back in the second inning, Genmar Gomez struck out Will Rhymes with 2 outs and the bases loaded. And those loom very large now as the Indians have gotten themselves back in it. Here's Miguel Cabrera, and he looks at ball one. Cabrera 1 for 3, hit the 2-out, 2-run homer in the first. Tigers' only other run came on a sac fly in the fourth. And a smash into left field for Cabrera. Brantley will cut it off. And Miguel Cabrera aboard with a leadoff single. One more time, let's check in with our Katie Witham.
Hey, thanks, guys. I'm over here in section 163. Great seats. They could be yours. Prorated season tickets tomorrow. Come out here if you want some from 2 to 4. You can literally pick out your seat, see a couple different payment plans. Season ticket holders get a free suite for one game, and you also get a full Terrace Club membership. And I am hanging out with the Weatherby family, and we've got Trevor here who is celebrating his 8th birthday. What do you think of these seats, Trevor?
Well, sit down,
good,
Adam.
right?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Well said. He doesn't have to talk. He's got the sign. There's a smash in a right field. And back-to-back hits for Detroit to start the 7th inning. And activity in the Indians' bullpen. As Ryan Rayburn is coming to the plate now, and he's already 2 for 3 with a double and a run scored, and that is going to send Manny Acta to the mound. And the bullpen door for the Indians will swing open once again. And we've got a change here at Progressive Field. Back-to-back singles, and the Tigers are trying to come right back and restore order. They lead it by a run. Joe Smith coming on when we come back. Tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Well, Detroit has their first two on here in the 7th inning. Ryan Rayburn coming to the plate. And the new Indians pitcher is right-hander Joe Smith on for just the 5th time.
Well, will be interesting to see here with the first two guys on, nobody out, how Jim Leyland plays it. If he wants to move them over, I would think they would. They've been struggling to score runs to add to a 1-run lead, but he's not.
Swings away.
Look at that.
Tapper back to the mound. Smith's only play is at first, and it works out just like a sacrifice.
He knew he was going to hit it in the ground like that, I guess, and pop it up, and he gets the runners over.
That's why he gets the big bucks.
That's right. That's why he is the manager. He knows. That's a job well done. They'll get high fives. So now I'm sure we'll see the infield in, and boy, it would be nice to hold them here, because if they can come back and get a run and answer that 2-run that the Indians have put on, that would change the momentum for them.
Well, Johnny Peralta tonight has flied out to right, and then in each of his last 2 at-bats, he grounded out to second base. And Joe Smith would love to see Peralta pop one up on the infield right here as the ball pops loose from Santana.
Well, most of the time you sit there and when the infield's playing in, you see him on the grass. We compare at third base. We're playing back a little more because he doesn't run well.
That's exactly why. The speed of the runner dictates how far the infield can play.
That's exactly right.
1-0 pitch coming here. And he misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
I mean, if you have an Austin Jackson or somebody up there, then the infielders would be up maybe just a step behind the grass or on the grass.
Yeah, you're right. And most infielders are going to either play with the grass, on the grass, or where that ball doesn't come down and
bullet to center.
Not going to matter.
And the Tigers will add a run to their lead. It's now 4-2 Detroit. As Peralta delivers his first hit of the night, and it's his 11th run batted in on the year.
As I was saying, where the demarcation where the grass ends and the dirt begins, the ground ball's not going to hit in that area and take a funny hop on it. It'll take the hop out.
Hit that lip.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter because Peralta gets it. Looked like it was a slider out over the plate. He ropes it into center field. So Detroit comes back and answers that 2-run inning and increases their lead to 4-2.
Now the Tigers with just their 4th hit tonight with a runner in scoring position, but it's a big one. They were 4 for 12, or are now 4 for 13 with the runner in scoring position so far here tonight. And that's driven deep to left. Brantley back makes the catch. That'll get another run home. So the Tigers get 2 here in the 7th. And it's now a 5-2 lead as they restore their 3-run cushion.
I'll close the book on Durbin. Both those runs allowed will be charged to Chad. Vila does a nice job. He gets his 2nd RBI and his 2nd sacrifice fly of the game.
And Brandon Inge will bat with a runner at first and 2 down. Now the 0-1. Swung out and missed. Now the 0-2 is swung out and missed, and the inning is over. But the damage is done as the Tigers get 2. Stretch time now in Cleveland, 5-2 Detroit. Time for the Cleveland Clinic 7th inning stretch. Indians fans, it's time for you to get up and move it. Indians down 5-2. Max Scherzer, 89 pitches so far tonight. Indians got to him for a pair in the 6th inning. But then Detroit came right back with 2 in the top half of the 7th. Michael Brantley 0 for 2. And a ground ball right at the second baseman, Will Rhymes. 1 down. Time now for our Miller Taste Greatness Moment. 1995, Indians and the Tigers. Jim Thome, how many walk-off wins? Seemed like it was night after night after night.
You're almost ticked when it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember they were knocking people out back then, too. I mean, they were
other.
co-cocking guys that would come to home plate.
Yeah, they thought it was funny.
I know it. You walked out of there, you'd see stars.
He walked into it, didn't see the stars.
Matt Laporta 0 for 2. Hammered deep left field. Rayburn looking up. It is gone to Souvenir City. Matt Laporta's 4th home run of the year makes it a 5-3 ball game.
Well, looked like Matt got his fastball he was looking for and juices it. There you go. There was that fastball in there.
He really brought his hands in well.
Yes,
he really
did.
and got the barrel of the bat to the ball. That's a special talent to be able to do that. A lot of guys can't do that. But good hitters can get their hands inside and get the bat out, and Matt did that.
Swing and a miss by Jack Hanahan, our Great Clips home run replay. That's $50 more to the gathering place courtesy of Great Clips. Rick and I are also donating $5 for every homer the Indians hit this year. And we're closing in on $1,800 raised so far this season. And the Indians are piling up the home runs here at home so far this year. By the way, you can log on to touchedbycancer.org for more information on the gathering place. Great needs, great deeds, Great Clips.
Well, that was the first right-handed hitter to get Scherzer this year. He had given up 5 home runs, all the left-handed batters. So Laporta's the very first righty to get him. Down very quick inside on the fastball.
The line and the 1-2. A little bit outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scherzer closing in on 100 pitches. And you see double barrel action. Schlereth from the left side. Ryan Perry, the right-hander. And the 2-2. Up high.
That's one of the toughest things to teach hitters is if they stay fundamentally sound like Matt did in that approach, then they get their hands where they need to be to get the bat out. You know, everybody thinks they don't want to get jammed. So the first thing they think, I've got to start early and cheat. I've got to start early. Your shoulder flies, the bat gets long. You know, the swing gets long. And it's the hardest thing for hitters to ever come to grips with is the fact that if they stay fundamentally sound, they get to that ball and get to it with some authority.
Your hands will get them out there. Let's check it out. Let's check out the swing. Watch the hands come in, and it just rolls over, and it's short. That top hand, man, I mean, that was so nice. How many times he just went straight down to it, short to the baseball.
And the payoff pitch to Hanahan. Popped him up on the infield. First baseman Miguel Cabrera. 2 down. Back to the studios we go once again for an in-game update with Al.
All right, man, we go back to Chicago where the Orioles have come back. Luke Scott, his 4th home run of the year. That's a solo shot in the 4th inning. Ties the game at 3. They're now on the top of the 5th inning, even 3 apiece. White Sox and O's. Back to you, man.
All right, thanks, Al. Here is Grady Sizemore. Indians down a pair. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And it's up high for ball 1. Indians have been out hit 13-5 tonight. But because the Tribe pitchers, in particular Genmar Gomez, able to get out of some jams early in this game, they're still right in it. And even though Durbin did give up the 2 in the top half of the 7th, he got out of that jam in the 6th. Brady Sizemore struck out in the first, popped up in the third inning, and then grounded to first base in the sixth.
This is Scherzer's third 2-0 count tonight.
Way wide, almost to the backstop. 3 balls and no strikes. There's Vinny Pistano, right-hander, loosening for the Tribe. Ball 4, and those last 2 weren't even in the same area code. The 2-out walk brings his dribble Cabrera to the plate. Representing the tying run, and here comes Jim Leland. I had a feeling the way those last 2 pitches really took off on him, that might be it. We'll see. Leland has not yet made an official wave to the pen. He may be going out to give him one last shot, or this may be it. We'll see. He's got the arms folded. That usually means he's going to let the pitcher try to talk his way into staying.
And we've seen him a number of times go out and he delivers his message, and he's telling them exactly what he wants, or he would have already made the call.
Yep.
Well, it's amazing. You watch pitchers and starting pitchers, and invariably when they get to the 100 pitch level, they start showing signs of tiring. He's up and out over the plate and out of the strike zone. Really,
they're programmed for 100 is what you're saying.
Well, I think that it's such a milestone, really, in a starter's mind, that they don't get so much physically tired as they get mentally tired. They start relaxing. They're not relaxing, but they start letting go mentally just a little bit, and they've got to get that focus back. And I'm sure that's what Jimmy was telling him right now. Hey, look, now you got this game in hand. You've got a relatively small pitch count. Get your head back on it. Let's go.
Here's his dribble Cabrera, 1 for 2 tonight. He has singled, walked, and scored a run. He's also stolen a base and hits a high drive. Deep right field. Bosch is back. He's out of room. It's out of here. As Dribble Cabrera, with a 2-out, 2-run homer, has tied this game at 5.
Well, whatever Jimmy said to him, it didn't work.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you what, Cabrera was ready for that first pitch. He got a fastball out over the plate, and, it may not have the zip on it it once had in the first inning. He juiced that ball to right center field, so a pair of home runs in this inning ties the ball game. Watch him go out and get it. He missed his target away. Cabrera went out and hooked it. And there it is. He knew it as soon as it left the bat. And we have a brand new ball game.
What a bottom of the 7th for the Cleveland Indians. They score 3 times thanks to the long ball, and we're all even at 5. Home run power here in inning number 7. Matt Laporta first with a porch shot to left field that made it a 5-3 ball game. And then with 1 on and 2 out as Drupal Cabrera liftoff.
Well, that's been their, hey, at home, that's their 24th home run, none bigger than that one right there to bring them back and tie the ball game. And you can see they injected a lot of life into that bench and into the crowd here as Daniel Scherzer is on for the 10th time this year. He came along with Max Scherzer in that trade from Arizona.
Yeah, and Austin Jackson was also part of that deal.
Yeah, there was a three-way.
Phil Koch, I think. I mean, it's amazing the talent the Tigers got back, and they've all contributed. Shin-Soo Choo, he ropes one to left field, but it's right at Rayburn, and the inning is over. So, the Indians with 3 in the 7th have tied the game at 5. Field. The Indians have rallied back to tie this game at 5 apiece. The Indians were down 3-0, and Max Scherzer was dominating, and then the Indians got a couple to make it a 3-2 game. Detroit scored a pair to go back up 5-2, and then the Indians with a solo shot and a 2-out 2-run homer have tied it up at 5 apiece. So now Vinny Pastano comes on to try and get those Indians bats right back into the dugout and ready to swing again. And he's done a terrific job so far this year coming out of that Indians bullpen.
He comes out, he throws hard, and he throws strikes. That's just exactly what you want out of your bullpen people, especially late inning bullpen people.
Well, he has some confidence. I mean, I like his makeup. He looks like he would be very sneaky to me. That ball gets up there and it gets on you in a hurry.
Austin Jackson, Will Rhymes, Maglio Ordonez for the Tigers here in the 8th. Jackson, a couple of singles, 2 for 4 on the night. It's 2-0, and Santana, a gesture of encouragement to Pastano as he fires the baseball back to him. Swung on and missed.
That ball had some movement to it.
Sure did.
That looked like it had some late life cutting away.
Almost chased after it, just above the belt, and a little bit out of the strike zone, not by much.
Well, normally that's where you want to get Austin Jackson out. His fastball's upstairs because he will swing and miss it, but you get him to 2 strikes, he would have swung at that pitch.
Now the 3-1. Swung on and missed. He threw it by him. It's really no match.
He's got that little zone there where he's got a little slight uppercut, and he's just swinging underneath the ball. And that fastball, he can't touch it because he's not trying to hit it the other way. He can hit that fastball in the other way.
Payoff pitch. Blew him away. Every pitch that Jackson offered at, he really looked overmatched.
Well, that ball, like I said, gets on you. And that one right there, you see, just threw it right by him.
Now Will Rhymes 1 for 3. He singled and scored in the first, walked in the sixth.
Okay, so what do you want to say? He's got a rise ball. I haven't talked to you in a while.
And a little bit high, ball 1 to Rhymes. After squaring, he had to get out of the way in a hurry. It's 2-0. So he fell behind Jackson 2-0, but came right back to get him.
Yeah, here's a guy. It's not a bad idea. It's all going to be part of his game is to try and get on base. And Laporta was back there at first base, and at second, Cabrera was deep, so he could pull one with him if he wanted.
Now the 2-0 delivery. Caught the outside corner. And Pistano, I'm not sure he throws a ball straight. Everything's got some good movement on it. And he comes right back to even the count at 2-2.
But he must have some deception to his delivery because you don't see hitters taking real comfortable swings off of it. At least yet. And to get away with fastballs at 90-91 up in the zone.
That's why I said it has to get up on him in a hurry or has that little jump to it.
Broke his bat. Laporta with a flip. 2 down. Take a look from right behind home plate.
I mean, you look at it here and it doesn't look like much as a hitter. You're saying, oh, here it comes. Now remember, it's in slow motion. And you don't see movement on the baseball as it's coming into the zone. He just shattered the bat right there. And there's just some pitchers that all of a sudden, the next thing you know, the ball's right in front of you, and you haven't started yet, and you're too late on it.
You're wondering how it got there so quick.
Right.
Yeah.
By the time you see it, it's already on top of you. I mean, it's hard to tell from television, and angles. But you look at the swings that hitters are showing you. He did it the other day with the bases loaded, nobody out, and got out of the inning against Kansas City.
Did, yeah.
And
in the hole, backhanded by Asdrubal Cabrera. Long throw, got him. Oh, baby. What a play by Asdrubal Cabrera. And the Detroit Tigers go 1-2-3 here in the 8th. Boy, it's turned out to be a gorgeous evening here in downtown Cleveland. Temperature-wise, yeah, a little on the cool side, but really
it's
very
starting
pleasant.
to warm up, baby.
Well, I mean, the breeze died down, so fans for the first time in about 5 days haven't had to worry about 40-mile-an-hour winds or so it has seemed.
Wah.
Yeah, as we sit up here in our nice warm booth.
Exactly.
Carlos Santana, 0 for 2 tonight. He walked back in the 6th inning, leading off the 8th inning against Daniel Schlereth. Schlereth got the last out of the 7th. Up high with a fastball, ball 1.
Last night it was a little chilly, but the 2 previous nights it was really nice. Just looking for bad weather to come in that never came.
Well, the ball started jumping. They hit 9 homers in that Kansas City series. They followed with 2 tonight in the 7th inning. And, boy, that long ball in this ballpark has been favorable for the Tribe. 24 homers this year. And they've hit 7 on the road. So that's a big difference.
24 homers in 13 games here at home.
Right.
1-1 to count on Santana. And he missed inside, 2-1.
First fireworks night of the year following tonight's game. Be nothing better than to get one in the bottom of the 8th to get 3 outs, and let's go to the fireworks show.
Down low, 3 balls and a strike. Man, the forecast looks great for tomorrow. Hope you can be down here with us. Indians Tigers tomorrow at 6 o'clock. If you can't make it to the park, Rick and I, along with Mike Hargrove, will have the call for you here on STO. It'll be Alex White making his major league debut for the Indians, the #1 pick of 2009 for the Tribe against Rick Porcello. Now the 3-1 to Santana. He challenged him with a fastball, and Carlos came up empty, full count. Now the payoff pitch. And a ground ball hit the short. Room service hop for Peralta. And there's 1 out. Take a look at our in-game box score brought to you by Hyundai. Join the movement. As Dribble Cabrera's big 2-run homer in the 7th tied it. And of course Matt Laporta also homered in that 7th inning. Shelley Duncan had a big 2-out 2-run single in the 6th that got the Indians on the board. And we've got a timeout as Duncan comes to the plate. Jim Leland wants a right-hander. And we'll be right back, all tied at 5 here in the 8th. It's a 5-5 ball game. Indians batting here in the home half of the 8th with 1 out. Shelley Duncan will be coming to the plate. Ryan Perry on for the 6th time this year for Detroit. He's walked 3, struck out 5. in 4 innings of work. Shelley Duncan already 2 for 3 tonight. Duncan has 10 hits and 26 at-bats on the year. And now 6 runs batted in after that clutch 2-out 2-run single in the 6th. Slider away for ball 1. White Sox and Orioles tied at 3 in the 5th in Chicago. Twins, Royals tied at 1 in the 6th in Kansas City. Here the Indians and the Tigers deadlocked at 5 in the 8th.
Well, Shelley Duncan got him on the board back in the 6th inning on a slider. And I mean, that was the spark that this offense needed. The right-hander has had a couple of good at-bats, and Shelley Duncan continues to get it going. Boy, look at him. He's pumped. I'll tell you, he means a lot to this ball club, heart and soul-wise. These guys, they look up to him.
He took a mighty rip right there.
Boy, well, he's got the count in his favor, 2-0. He's trying to give him the lead.
He's a big man, swings a big bat.
Yes, he does. He doesn't get
thunder.
cheated. And I'll tell you what, that's what you got. You know, you take your chances. That's why you work as a hitter to get to 2-0, 3-1 counts. And in situations like this, go ahead, take your shot.
Ryan Perry's 2-1 pitch. Hit on the ground to third. Inge throws him out. 2 down now for Orlando Cabrera. Orlando 0 for 3 on the night. Interesting, though, Rick, that Mike mentioned earlier in the game that Orlando Cabrera is a big reason why the Indians have been so successful here in the early going. Remember back, it was Orlando Cabrera who had the big home run on the Sunday game against Chicago that helped the Indians avoid being swept and got them rolling.
Yeah.
Delivering a clutch hit when they really needed it. Now the 0-1. Popped foul, out of play.
Well, it has been, a part of everything. When you're playing the kind of baseball that the Indians are playing, it's no one guy, it's no 2 guys. It's been a whole team.
Yeah.
Team effort. I'm talking up to down, 1 through 9. Good starting pitching, good bullpen, good defense, good hitting. That's how you get 16 and 8.
Cabrera punches it into left center field. And the go-ahead run is at first base with 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, I'll tell you, he picked this breaking ball up off the ground, didn't he? It looked like they almost wanted to bounce it. Maybe middle of the plate a little bit too much. You see where Avila has to come back to the backhanded side, but he just drops a bat head down and stroked it into left center field.
Michael Brantley 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out, flied out, and grounded out. And that's outside for ball 1. To take Rick's point a step further, Mike, and that you need contributions from everybody, and that's what they've had so far this year. And by no means would I ever compare this team to the 95 Indians, which was a monster team. But that team, too, while it had its superstars, had contributions from Paul Sorrento and up and down the lineup, night in and night out.
Yeah, everybody asks, is this for real? And one of the reasons I think that lends some credibility that it is real is it's not 1 or 2 guys carrying the ball club. It's everybody that's asked to play. I don't care if it's Shelley Duncan or Travis Hafner, Grady Sizemore comes back from the DL, or it's Brantley or Laporta or Chu, whoever it is. Everybody's had a piece of the pie and contributed. So it's when you look at something and say, is it real? That I think lends credibility to the idea. Yeah, it is real, and we do know it's real so far. Yeah. So I think that's a big reason for optimism to see that everybody's contributed, and it makes for a lot of happy times around.
What these guys are doing right now, they're starting to develop chemistry.
amongst each other. And these guys, they're from a lot of different places, so it takes a while for players when they play together to build this thing. That's what the 162-game schedule is all about, man. You build, these guys are living with each other day in and day out, and believe me, they get after it. And, you know, they couldn't ask for a better start for a confidence factor.
Remember last year, there were a number of times where you'd go into the Indians clubhouse and you would walk in and it just felt like it was the first day of school. I mean, there were a lot of guys, as Rick said, young players, different organizations. But over the course of the season, by the end of the year, the chemistry was there.
Yeah.
And now they've carried it into spring training.
I felt like it was a morgue a couple of times.
Loop toward left. It's going to drop for Brantley. Cabrera stops at second. Back-to-back two-out singles here in the bottom of the eighth. And the Indians are threatening to take the lead now. And that'll leave it up to Matt Laporta.
There you go. It looked like it was off and running, and no, Vila thought he was, but Michael just serves it out the other way. Left field, base hit. Go ahead, run in scoring position right now.
Rick Knapp out to talk to Ryan Perry. As Matt Laporta comes to the plate, Laporta launched a home run to left field his last time up. Boy, and you wish Mikey could just bottle this swing.
Oh my goodness, yeah. That you can't get that swing can't get any better. That's how you want to do it. He's in a position to get the ball away or in,
and you know you hate to see him have that long swing out because he is so strong. I mean, as strong as he is, when he can hit the ball a long way when he keeps that short swing.
Well, Matt's a good hitter when he allows himself to be, and it's with a lot of players. So a lot of players, if they allow themselves to be that, if they allow their talent to flow, then they really maximize everything.
Well, I hope he lets it flow here.
In for a first pitch strike.
5 for 7 with 2 outs tonight. Their last 2 outs. But you knew he wasn't going to start him out with a fastball after just hitting the last fastball he saw out of the ballpark.
Good pitch down, and Laporta chased after it. It's 0-2. You see the right-hander, Jose Valverde, just starting to get loose. Laporta steps away, down to the count, 0-2. Ryan Perry giving up back-to-back 2-out singles here in the 8th. Now the 0-2 pitch to Laporta is in the dirt and able to hold up that time.
Well, right now is when you change your whole approach into this at-bat with that tying or the go-ahead run in scoring position. You got 2 strikes. You just try and shorten it down and then put the ball in play.
Orlando Cabrera is at second. Michael Brantley at first with 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And in the dirt, good stop by Avila. And Laporta's back to even at 2-2. Jim Leland, Tigers manager, next to his longtime coach Gene Lamont. $15,568 in attendance tonight here at Progressive Field. And watch the Indians come from behind to tie it. And that is ball 3, and the count is full. So now your runners will get a head start on the 3-2 pitch coming up to Laporta.
I'm thinking slider right here.
Well, yeah, I am too. And this is where, as a hitter, you got to understand what the guy's out pitch is and what his strike pitch is, and the fact that he probably doesn't care about what he throws to him. I think sliders is a pretty good choice right now, but you've got to be ready for both of those pitches.
Yeah, I'm thinking slider.
Runners go. Payoff pitch swung on and Missed.
Slider.
So he got him. And the inning is over. Indians strand a pair. We go to the ninth, tied at 5. Here at Progressive Field.
Chris Perez coming on now for the Indians in the top half of the ninth inning. Pistano gave him a good inning of work. Chris for the 11th time. He's going to be facing, let's see, Cabrera, Bosch, and Rayburn, scheduled hitters.
Vinny Pistano with a scoreless inning in the 8th. And Miguel Cabrera, who is 2 for 4 tonight with a 2-run homer, looks at ball 1. Fastball down low. Now the 2-0 pitch. Hit a long way. Deep left center, but Grady Sizemore back onto the track. Pulls it down with not much room to spare, one away. And Cabrera, who had gone about a quarter of the way around first, can only shake his head in disbelief.
Well, he might have felt that he had one that he could do some damage to, and it was a fastball right down Broadway. And he just got under it just a hair, not by much. Hit it to the deepest part of the park, and Grady puts it away. That's frustration, but when you're as strong as he is.
Brennan Bosch. Singleton scored his last time up. He reached on an error back in the first. 1 for 4 overall on the night. Now the 1-0 pitch. Outside.
Last few appearances, Chris hasn't really been sharp. He's been falling behind a lot of counts, and I know he hasn't been getting work. Remember when after that first blown save in Kansas City, he went 4 or 5 days before he could get back into the game.
High pop, shallow left center. Grady over. Brantley calling. It's Grady who will grab it. 2 down. And stay tuned after the ball game tonight for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. Conrad's, home of the lowest everyday tire price guarantee. Ryan Rayburn 2 for 4, single, double, and a run scored. And a fastball just a little bit low. Now the 1-0. Swung on and missed.
There's a difference in the game nowadays as opposed to maybe 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. Is a, you know, 1-0 count used to be a great fastball count. I mean, you can count on pitchers throwing fastball 1-0 anymore. It's a breaking ball count. It's changeups and changeups, sliders, curveballs.
Yeah.
It's really become a breaking ball count.
Why is that? Why has it changed so much?
I think the pitchers, number one, I think pitchers are, a lot of pitchers pitch away from contact, which is a bad, unless you've got a 98-mile fastball, is a bad way to pitch. And I think they're really afraid of a guy launching one on a 1-0 pitch.
Well, I think guys back in the day, they could locate to a spot down and away with a fastball better than some of the guys can now today.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And they're not afraid to come back and throw the breaking balls now, where back then they'd say, all right, here's my go-to. I need a strike. Every pitcher must have one pitch he can throw for a strike in any count.
Now the 2-2. Swung on and missed. He got him to chase. Chris Perez, a 1-2-3 ninth. Let's see if the Tribe can win it walk-off style when we come back. Aerial coverage tonight provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. We go now to the bottom of the ninth inning here at Progressive Field. And on for Detroit is right-hander Joaquin Benoit to try and keep it a 5-5 game and send it to extra innings. Of course, the Indians have different ideas, and for the Tribe due up here in the bottom of the ninth, it's Jack Hanahan, followed by Grady Sizemore, and then Asdrubal Cabrera. And Rick, I think it would be appropriate if the Indians could win this game here in the bottom of the ninth, since we've got the man who made the walk-off win almost an everyday occurrence here in 1995, Mike Hargrove.
Yeah, I had everything to do with that. I swung the bat for him. I did.
Well, it would be fun to watch. You know, you've got a decent crowd here tonight, and you'd love to see them continue that streak. And if they could get a win tonight, they'd have 17 wins for the month of April, and that'd be the first time an Indians club has done that.
Jack Hanahan.
Well, this is a big stepping stone for the Indians. I think the young club coming in here, if they win tonight, it really vaults them.
Well, they played well in this ballpark, and that's I love to see when they can come back and play well at home. You know, it means a lot.
Well, you want to play over 500 at home. You know, play 500 on the road or close to 500 on the road and over 500 at home, and you win championships that way.
Joaquin Benoit ready with the 0-1. Hanahan, good cut, fouled it straight back.
I was really surprised that Texas let this guy go.
Yeah,
I thought he had great stuff.
You know, he had arm problems, I think, and then after surgery, nobody wanted to sign him, and Tampa took a flyer on him.
Right.
And he came back and, had a terrific year and ended up becoming a free agent, and they weren't going to re-sign him.
Missed all of 09. And then, as Rick said, came back with Tampa. 0-2 pitch, missed down low. And last year with the Rays, in 63 games, he had a 1.34 ERA. I mean, nowhere in his career was he ever close to that kind of a pitcher.
Well, you figure he was a setup guy for Soriano. They didn't re-sign him, who had such a great year. Now he's setting up in New York. They lose their setup man. He comes to Detroit. They lost I think 4 or 5 guys out of their bullpen.
I don't know if he's hurt. He may be hurt. Looked like, I don't know if he split a nail on his pitching finger.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
Or a blister problem, Mike.
He wants clippers. I think he might have the old hangnail. He's looking for clippers.
Well, that's why I lost track of him in 09.
Right.
Of course, he was out for those seasons. So was I. I wasn't around in 09
Well,
either,
he did. You're right. He's got a great arm, but.
Well, and how often do we talk about this? In 2007, Joaquin Benoit with the Rangers pitched in 70 games.
Right.
Had a 2.85 ERA. Did a solid job. And then in 08, only 44 games, and then 09.
Yeah, well, the use of it, and then he had to have the surgery, but he came back with a vengeance.
He didn't have a lot of years where he pitched a ton. I mean, he went from 32 appearances in 05 to 56 in 06 to 70 in 07.
Well, and those were some tough innings down in Texas, too, in that ballpark.
Benoit seems to be just fine after getting a nail job.
He had to make it's Friday night for the weekend. He had to go get his nails done.
Call his manicurist.
That's a new position that Major League Baseball clubs carry now.
Hey, I believe it.
Yeah, I do too.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Joaquin Benoit. Now the 2-2 to Hanahan. Fastball hit right up the middle, and it's through. Jack Hanahan starts the bottom of the 9th with a leadoff single.
Yeah, he has been something. He's been something special.
Here comes Adam Everett to pinch run for him.
They want a little more speed out there. And he had a good pitch, too. That ball was off the dish on the outside part. He takes it right back up the middle to get it started here in the 9th. So Maniac changes positions because Everett will go in 3rd if they need it. Hopefully he'll carry the mail and end up scoring the winning run is what they're looking for.
Well, here is Grady Sizemore coming to the plate now, as Everett has a chat with his former teammate Miguel Cabrera at first base. In on the grass at 3rd is Brandon Inge. Sizemore walked and scored in the 7th, 0 for 3 on the night. And he started him off with a changeup for strike 1.
That's amazing to me. If you're sitting there, it's the 9th inning, nobody out, can run on first base. You got a guy to play. The bunt's in order. Now, you don't know whether he's going to bunt or not, but the bunt's in order. And the pitcher must know something the rest of us don't know and throws him a first pitch changeup.
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect Grady to be bunting there only because of the extra base hits he has this year. He could hit a gap and end the game, or he could hit one out. So why give up that out?
Sizemore with a long stare down to third base coach Steve Smith before he steps back in. And it's in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike.
Now comes right back with another changeup. And, the more you see, that's good. He's going to start him off with that pitch. He's probably going to want to try and finish him off with it as well. He may show him a couple fastballs along the way and get back to where he started.
Now the 2-1 to Sizemore. Hammered into right field. Everett. He'll hit second and turn and burn for third. Bosch's throw cut off. Grady Sizemore with a solid single to right field. And the Indians have him at the corners with nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth.
Well, and Grady knows the situation. He was looking for something he could pull. And he finally gets that fastball, I think, here, and he's able to turn on it. He's looking for that hold and send him first and third, and that was not a good located fastball by Benoit. And Grady rockets it into right field. On to third goes Everett. Indians with the chance to win the game here. Nobody out.
Tigers have to bring the infield in and the outfield in as well.
What do they do? Put them on and just go with it? Or are you going to take your chances and pitch to just put them on and load the bases?
I would put them on and load the bases, and then you got to force it every base.
Yeah, but then you got Chu, who's been swinging a hot bat, although Cabrera did hit the big 2-run homer to tie this ball game up at 5. The Indians have never led in this ball game.
Detroit got 2 in the first on a 2-out 2-run homer by Miguel Cabrera. A sac fly made it 3-0 in the fourth. The Indians got 2 in the sixth to cut the gap to 3-2 before Detroit came right back with a 2 spot in the seventh to make it 5-2. Then in the bottom of the seventh, Matt Laporta with a solo homer as Drupal Cabrera's 2-out 2-run homer tied the game at 5. And so now here we are in the bottom of the ninth. And the Detroit Tigers intentionally walk as Drupal Cabrera. They load the bases with nobody out, and Shin-Soo Choo will be the batter.
This is where you see a lot of young hitters who come up to the plate, and they'll be first pitch swinging a guy. They'll be looking for the fastball like we're talking. They'll throw him a slider, and they'll swing anyway. What you've got to do as a hitter is understand and realize all the pressure is on that pitcher. I mean, he's got to throw you strikes or walk wins the ball game, and
it takes away some of their best pitches. They're afraid to throw a breaking ball in the dirt because a wild pitch, a guy scores. I mean, you're right. All the pressure's on the defense.
Yeah. But you try to tell hitters that.
They want to be the hero.
Oh, yeah. I don't blame them. I want them to be the hero.
Yes, everybody does. But we'll see. You've got one of the hottest hitters going right now, and you can see 2 for 4 in his career off Benoit.
Again, the Tigers infield at the cut of the grass around the horn. Outfield also drawn in. Anything in the air deep, and this baby's over. And not to mention, you've got pretty good speed at third base in Adam Everett. Benoit deals. Swung out and missed. Chased a good fastball. 94 miles an hour.
That was a nice swing. That wasn't. He didn't overswing. It was a nice swing. It was good to see.
Bases loaded. Nobody out in the 0-1 to Chu. Out of play to the left.
Oh, he got one he liked. Look at, he's upset he didn't put that one in play. Well, you'll probably see a good high fastball here. Trying to get him to swing through it. Up about the letters.
Benoit ready. 2-strike pitch. Struck him out. Boy, you just almost, at least I had the feeling, after he didn't get the pitch before, based on his reaction and everything, he just didn't have a good feeling about the rest of this at bat.
Well, he missed his pitch he got.
I think Archie's clairvoyant. I think because there's a high fastball.
Well, it had to be. I mean, he missed the pitch he had, and he was upset with himself. He started him off, and Chu's got that little swing. You go upstairs with that numbers, or to the letters, and you swing through it. But he gets the big out, so now pressure's still on. See if the young kid Santana can do it.
Carlos Santana 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. Excuse me, 0 for 3 tonight with that walk.
Here's what's interesting: do you play your shortstop and second baseman back for a double play, or do you keep him in and to get the out of the plate?
That's a good point. With this matchup here, the way I've been watching, I've seen Santana. I think I'd put my middle guys back and try and get out of the inning.
Well,
I would too, because just for the simple reason also that Santana didn't run that well.
They are at middle depth, so they're going to try to turn two in the middle.
If it's a hit, one hopper at them, they will.
The set by Benoit and the 1-0 pitch to Santana. Swung out and missed. Adam Everett, the winning run at third base. And the bases are loaded for the Indians here in the bottom of the ninth. With one down. Tigers infield drawn in. Outfield also drawn in. After Chu struck out, Santana now with a 1-1 count. Benoit ready now with the 1-1. Inside, he missed 2 balls and a strike.
He's not going to throw him a strike. He's going to see if Santana will get him out. It's 2-1 here. See if he goes back outside. He just shows him that fastball in to get a little respect. Show him the inside part of the plate. He's going to see if he can get him to swing like he did on that second pitch.
Benoit, the 2-1. A little bit high. 3 balls and a strike.
Now come to Papa. Now you got to shrink your zone if you're Carlos.
And shorten your swing.
And shorten your swing, man. You're just trying to put the ball and lift it in the air.
15,568, and just about every single one of them on their feet here at Progressive Field. Benoit's 3-1 pitch. Drilled! Deep right field! Way back! And gone! Carlos Santana! A grand slam game winner! And the Indians continue to impress in the month of April. Their 11th straight home win gives them more wins in the month of April than any Indians team in franchise history.
Wow. I don't know what else to say. I think he zoned in on that one, didn't he?
Wow covers it, I think. You're right. Yeah, he did it. He did exactly what you said. He shrunk his zone and shortened the swing and hit a rocket.
I mean, what a way to end a game right there. Santana, beautiful.
Well, our play of the game is brought to you by KeyBank. Thanks for making KeyBank the #1 bank in northeastern Ohio.
Geez, let me guess at what that could be. The 3rd homer of the night for the Indians, and the long ball continues. But this is in grand style. The grand salami to end the ball game. A walk-off home run, Carlos Santana. What a fun trot that is. That is going to be our KeyBank key play of the game. Watch it again.
Well, you guys talked about it. Come to Papa, I think was the term you used.
Yeah.
He came to Papa, and Papa sent him home.
Big Papa slapped him.
He did. Spanked him.
9-5. The Indians win it, and appropriately with Mike Hargrove here in the booth. Walk-off winner, just like the good old days.
Yep, I worked real hard for that, too.
All righty, stick around. We're coming right back with a Conrad's post-game show next.